Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Denise. It helps when I unmute myself. As I was saying, I had the wrong setup. Oh, but the trials have been all over the place today. I'm sure out in the streets, y'all have seen it is going crazy. There was an NFL murder trial that happened today. Uh, we're still waiting on the Ali and Ali. They had a question. The question was, hang on, I have the question here somewhere. The question was, legal authority was not defined for count 3. Can we have the definition for legal authority? The answer that the judge sent back was, please read the instructions again. Oh, the Craig, what was it? Norman Craig? Name's Craig. Craig, yeah, that one. I haven't been following that one. James Craig, that's what it is. Yeah, you failed lip reading. Yeah, I can lip read very little, but I need to be up close and be able to really read your lips. Well, I'm gonna spill the beans and I'm gonna spoil it. This thing, we're going to start off where they do the closing arguments, so at least have that all together, the closing arguments, and then the jury comes back with a verdict on this one, if you have not seen. And if I tell you any more, that'd be spilling the beans. So we're just going to play and watch. All right. We're going to hit play and watch, because I don't know if y'all want me to spill the beans or not. So, and this is actually still going on. So, and the jury has come back with a verdict. So take that. And yeah, I'm sure y'all can figure that out. All right. I'm going to hit play.
And that.
Oh, and I fast forward through the jury charges because honestly, we don't need to hear jury charges. It was 20 minutes of the judge talking it. And honestly, I don't like this judge. And you'll see. Yeah. Let me roll it.
Portion, and only that portion, will be read back from the official transcript. With that, ladies and gentlemen, both sides have been given an hour to argue the case. Should they elect to use it, the state does have the burden of proof, so they have the right to open and close the arguments. I'll ask them to address you at this time.
Thank you, Judge. May I peace of court? Counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choices. What did Mr. Soto say in opening statements? This was a case about choices and consequences. And how on June 1st of 2024, that man sitting right there made a fateful choice that has consequences for which he must be held accountable for. Now, what choice did he make? He chose to commit the offense of aggravated assault of a family member with a deadly weapon, which resulted in serious bodily injury. Let's go over those elements. You heard testimony when it comes to on or about June 1st, 2024, from the investigators that responded to the case, from Investigator Lopez to Amasquita, Mark Vela, Florencio Barrera, how they got a call and they were dispatched to 2420 North Smith Avenue for a shooting call. You heard the victim, Erica. She took the stand and she testified that she went to Billy Delgado's residence because he called her over because of some issue with her daughter. Let's move on to the second element. In Webb County, Texas. It happened on 2420 North Smith Avenue. I asked Officer Amasquita, and even Erica testified that residence is located in Laredo, Texas, which is in Webb County. Let's move on to the next element. The defendant, Billy Delgado. What evidence do we have? Well, we saw Officer Amasquita testify. We saw his body cam. You'll be able to take that with you in the back. He confessed. Yeah, I shot her mom. Who's her? Emmy, his daughter, who happens to be Erica's daughter as well. We see Juan Angel Pina surveillance footage. And we see it point blank. Look, it's right there, point blank. Aiming a gun right at Erica through the passenger side window. Erica IDs. I heard 3 shots through my windshield. And as I drive by, I see Billy shooting, pointing a gun at me. And let's not forget the forensic scientists that came over and confirmed that there was gunshot residue on Billy Delgado after Mark Vela got samples from his hands and sent it out for testing. But ladies and gentlemen, the most important one, he confessed on June 1st, 2024. He confessed back then, and he took the stand, and he confessed on the stand as well. Check, check, check. All right, let's talk about the next element. Intentionally, knowingly, and or recklessly. Well, it started May 19th, prior to June 1st. Erica and Kayla took the stand, and what did they say? Erica said on May 19th, almost 2 weeks prior to the date in question, Billy told her, enjoy your birthday, because this will be her last one. Kayla overheard that same conversation and could confirm that's what Billy said. So he had a plan already. He had a plan that he wanted to execute. And execute he did. There he is. Look at State's Exhibit 4. He's laying in wait. Erica's up there. You see her coming in a green Kia Soul. He's laying in wait, waiting to ambush her to execute that plan. And execute he did. What did Florencio Barrera say? In my experience, he was about 5 feet away from her. He didn't fire one shot to eliminate a threat like he's going to later claim. He fired 10 rounds. He had a purpose. A man with a purpose, walking with a purpose. State's Exhibit 5 will show the other angle of Pina's home surveillance footage. And what is he doing? She pulls over in distraught. He's walking with a purpose, fidgeting with his pockets. Go, look at it. He's fidgeting with his pockets, touching his gun. He goes back to his apartment and he puts his gun. Oh, and what else did he put up there? 2 loaded magazines. He didn't get to finish the purpose he set out for. He gets arrested once Amasquita gets there, and what does he say? I emptied a whole clip in her mother. Again, who's her? Emmy. Mother being Erica. He was in handcuffs in the patrol unit, talking to a neighbor, and you can see it on Amasquita's body cam. And what does he tell this neighbor? What am I supposed to do? I'll just deal with the consequences. He took the witness stand as well, and he admitted yesterday, he took the witness stand and he admitted to shooting her intentionally. Now let me talk about serious bodily injury. Now, you're going to get the law from the court, which you already did. It's right here. The definition of serious bodily injury is here. Let me discuss it real quick. Serious bodily injury is bodily injury that creates a substantial risk of death or that causes death, serious permanent disfigurement, or protracted loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member or organ. What did Dr. Mederos come? He came here on his busy schedule and he took the stand. And what did he say? He said that if I did not intervene and do the medical treatment and surgery on Erica, she would have 100% had a chance of dying. That at any time that he was doing his surgeries, his laparotomies, as he called it, which he did twice, by the way, to save her, that at any moment she could have died. I asked him on page 17 of the medical records, and you'll have him in evidence, what does hemorrhagic shock mean? He defined it for us. And I asked him, if that were to be left untreated, what could it result in? He said death. That her pH levels are below a certain level, to the point that if somebody has them and if they're not treated, they die. That's what she had. pH levels below the level he described to where she could have died. Ladies and gentlemen, bodily injury that creates a substantial risk of death or that causes death? Check. I think we got that. We've proven that beyond a reasonable doubt. But let's continue. He also talked about how, and that's page 17, ladies and gentlemen, on the medical records. They're in evidence. How she lost 4 liters of blood. And I asked him, had they not been replenished, what could have happened, Dr. Medeiros? She would have died. And he goes into discussion about, he discusses in detail how much blood she had to be replenished. And it's in the records. He also testified that she's going to suffer from short gut syndrome, meaning a large part of her intestines were cut out and she doesn't have them. It's going to affect her ability to get nutrients, to live a long, healthy life, be able to do certain activities that you and I take for granted. She spent 363 days in the hospital. That's close to a year. Losing a large part of your intestine? Let's go back. Protracted loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member or organ. Check. This is how that man left her. This is the picture on the right. That's 4 days prior to today. 4 days. And look how we left her. I believe she then testified that she still had a staple. And you can see it right there. Oh, but yes. She did come in walking normally and looked fine. Okay, yes. Serious permanent disfigurement. Check. I asked Dr. Medeiros, are you familiar with the legal definition of serious bodily injury? And he said yes. I asked him, as to all 3 possible definitions, do the injuries that Erica sustained at the hands of Billy Delgado, would you, in your medical opinion, classify them as serious bodily injury? And he said yes to all 3. As a matter of fact, he took the stand up here and he even said, yes, I caused serious bodily injury to Erica Torres. That's another element that we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, who is our victim? You heard it from the horse's mouth. She came up here, she testified as to what she experienced, what she went through, what she remembers, what she didn't remember, not because she was trying not to remember anything, because she literally couldn't remember because of what he did to her. We saw Peña's home surveillance footage where she's driving her green Kia Soul. And how do we know she was driving the green Kia Soul? Because Kayla testified that she drives the green Kia Soul. Kayla also testified that she was on the phone as Billy was raining bullets at Erica. And again, he confessed back then on June 1st, 2024 to Officer Mesquita, and he confessed again when he took the stand yesterday. Another element met beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's talk about the deadly weapon element now. Deadly weapon. So again, you're given the law by the court. By that man right there, the judge. He gave you the law. It's in here. A deadly weapon, we know, automatically, we call it per se in our legal terms, but it's automatically considered a deadly weapon, a firearm. We know State's Exhibit 6 right here. Y'all can check it out. Y'all can take it back and look at it. Investigator Juan Lopez seized a black Taurus G3C pistol. I asked Lopez and I asked Mesquita, Officer Mesquita, is a Taurus G3C pistol considered a firearm? Yes, it is a firearm. It's meant to kill. We look at Peña's home surveillance footage. And actually, I can go back. You can see the firearm he used right there on his hand. Erica described it. And he admits to it too. You can see it off of Amasquita's body cam. Where did you put the gun? Oh, and I believe, quote for quote, oh, it's on the chair right there on the black chair. Sure enough, that's where it is, with 2 loaded magazines. And then again, he took the stand yesterday and he testified that he did use a deadly weapon. Ladies and gentlemen, there's another element meant beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's go to the final element. So again, the court has provided you the law. Here's the law. This, it's going to be right here with you. You take it there and you go read it and you look into it. You base the evidence and see if it matches, if it qualifies. 71.003, family includes individuals who are former spouses of each other or individuals who are parents of the same child without regard to marriage. Section 71.0021B talks about dating violence. So in this case, it's committed against the victim, Erica Torres, with whom the actor, that man right there, Billy Delgado, has or has had a dating relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard from Erica. They dated since 2018. They got married on March 21st of 2021. They divorced 2025. In between June 1st, 2024 is when the actions that Billy Delgado took, that shooting, happened in between. They were married when he committed that crime. Married. So, satisfied. Oh, they both testified. Erica took the stand. Billy took the stand. Yes, we share a daughter, Emmy. Individuals who are parents of the same child without regard to marriage. Satisfied as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the evidence presented, the state of Texas has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that each element of the offense alleged against Billy Delgado has been satisfied. On top of the mountain of evidence, ladies and gentlemen, he confessed back then. He confessed on the stand yesterday. You should find him guilty, beyond a reasonable doubt, of aggravated assault of a family member with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury. Now, I anticipate defense is going to come up, and I anticipate that they're going to deflect from the situation at hand. And that's that. Not focus on the choice that man made and the consequences that he should be accountable for, but focus on the victim and how she's a bad mother and how she looks fine and how she's a bad person, airing out all her dirty laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, she took the stand herself. She aired her dirty laundry for you. She didn't need them to do it. She went up there and she told her faults. She admitted to them. I also anticipate that they will probably argue that, well, Billy did what he did because he had to defend somebody. In this case, he had to defend Emmy. You're going to go back there and there's going to be a defensive third person. And defensive third person, and again, you have this, it's being to you by the court. It says, under the circumstances as the actor reasonably believes them to be, the actor will be justified in using force to protect himself against the unlawful force he reasonably believes to be threatening the third person he seeks to protect, and important, the actor reasonably believes that his intervention is immediately, another important word, immediately necessary to protect the third person. Okay, so he's trying to protect Emmy from who? This Uncle Louie, who never made an appearance in this case other than just him saying it. As a matter of fact, we brought you Investigator Vaquera. They looked into it, the multidisciplinary team. There was no merit in that allegation. There was nothing there. So why pursue when there's nothing there? They did their job, investigated it. Protected from him? From Louis? Protect from what? From Erica? Because he was going to take Emmy back to Louis. Well, if I recall from the testimony, Billy was supposed to have Emmy until Sunday. Erica was supposed to pick up Emmy on Sunday. No, he calls her a day before. Hey, I'm having issues with her daughter. Come get her. So a day before Erica was supposed to have Emmy, he calls her over. So he calls Erica, who may be a danger to Emmy, over on his day where he's supposed to have his daughter. Remember, Emmy was in his apartment eating pancakes that he happily was making for her, playing with toys that he gave her, according to his roommate's testimony. What danger was she in? There was no danger. There was no immediate danger. There was no danger at all. He called her over to execute his plan so that he can ambush her and kill her. And he executed that plan, but he failed. And luckily he failed because she was able to come out here and testify for you and tell her what she went through, tell you all what she went through, instead of being 6 feet deep. And Judge, I'm going to go ahead and yield the rest of my time to Mr. Soto.
All right. Thank you. That was 18 minutes. Defense.
May it please the court, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Let me address you. I'm not going to be yelling at you. I'm not going to be showing you gross pictures to try to deflect you from the issues at hand, okay? So what are the issues at hand? State seems to believe that it's just an aggravated assault with serious bodily injury. As you see in your jury instructions, you're going to see that it says when the issue of the application of defense to a third person is raised, which it has in this case, the burden of persuasion is on the prosecution to disprove the justification beyond a reasonable doubt. If you have a reasonable doubt as to whether the defendant's conduct was justified by the defense of a third person, you must find the defendant not guilty, okay? So they're going to try to disprove defense of a third person by argument, okay? Argument. They didn't put up any evidence up there to say that there was not a defense of a third person. They failed. So it's just not those things that he showed up there, check, check, check. He forgot to check this one, okay? He didn't check this one because they failed to do it. They could have called Uncle Louie, come up here. Did you do it? No. Disproved, okay, of our defense. It had to be immediate. It had to be an immediate threat. That's why he didn't wait till Sunday. If you want to take care of it now, okay? If it wasn't immediate, he would wait till Sunday. If he wanted to ambush her and kill her, he would have waited till Sunday. She was going to come over, okay? It didn't flow that way. It doesn't flow right, all right? In his brain, how does his brain get in this position? Will we be here, first of all? If he wasn't abused all these years, would we be here? Probably not, okay? So remember how he's been shaped over these years. He threw a weight at him. They hit him several times. She told you she's been arrested for beating up her own brother. And her words are laying hands on somebody. Okay, she got arrested. Okay, Billy says that she's got friends in high places. Nothing happened to her. You know, we talked about second chances. How many chances does she have? Her brother, Billy, several times. She admitted to drinking with her kids in the back seat. One of her kids. That's a felony offense here in Texas. Anything happen? Okay, keeps going over and over in his mind. That's what he's thinking, okay? And it's in the instructions what a reasonable person is, okay? It tells you at that moment what he's thinking. And it's just not that moment. It's everything that pushed it to that moment, okay? The abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, the physical abuse, it shaped him, okay? I can't get any help, okay? Because of her friends.
I'm going to speak on the judge here just because I can. I'm going to back up 5 seconds. I'm going to give you 5 seconds of watching this man's actions.
Verbal abuse, the physical abuse, it shaped him. Okay, I can't get any help. Okay, because of her friends, nothing's going to happen.
That's 5 seconds. If the judge is that tired, he needs to go to bed earlier or something. I mean, that's yeah. Maria, I don't really, I hate to discredit anybody or speak ill of anybody that holds a position like that, but that's just there's no excuse for that.
He's had enough. Now something's happened to his daughter, so he's got to act, and he acted. That's what it was. Now there is a jury instruction for that. The state can't disprove it that he did it to defend his daughter. Okay, she's being abused. They even told you during voir dire, I believe. They said, we have a single witness rule. All we need is one witness. The state always does that. Well, in this case, we have one witness of the abuse, and guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. It doesn't apply now. You heard it. Did you go talk to the guy that did it? He just got out of prison. If I was a cop, that's what I would do. The guy got out of prison. Let me go see what he wants to tell me. Okay, maybe he'll confess. I don't know. I called him. I couldn't find him. It's good enough for me. She didn't say anything. Her mom just got shot. Dad's in jail. The kid clams up. And the end of the case. That's the end of the case. Okay? The kid goes back to the same situation, the same family where the abuses occurred to Mr. Delgado and to her. That's the end of that case right there. And who knows what that child's going to be a product of in the future because of all the abuse that's going on. It's
Sir, your client caused all this.
we're disputing any. We saw the video, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't need to bring an expert to say it was gun residue. Okay, nobody's disputing that. Nobody's disputing the shooting. We're disputing why it was shot. Why did he shoot? Okay, that's the whole issue. Do you need to take a look at the at this? We have instruction. The judge thought that it warrant merit for you to take a look at it. Okay, that's why it's on here. There's evidence to back it up. If there was no evidence, we wouldn't get this instruction. So we have evidence. Take a look at it. The state has to disprove it before you get to a guilty verdict. Okay, they didn't put on any evidence to disprove it. They're going to try to argue it. What the lawyers say is not evidence. Okay, what lawyers say up here is not evidence. It's what comes out of that witness chair. Okay, whoever's up there. All right, you heard Erica's cousin say she had it on speakerphone, and I could hear Billy was calling, where I said, it's going to be your last birthday. When Erica testifies, what does she say? Go drop off the kid. He straps her in, comes over to my car, and says, it's going to be your last birthday. So they didn't get that story straight. All right, because there's two different versions. All right, so it's different. And why would he say that? If he wants to kill her, just do it. Could have done it right there when he dropped off the kid. Why didn't he do it? Because it's not true. All right. He had plenty of opportunities, plenty of abusive situations when he got dropped off in the middle of the night. Hey, leave the house. I don't care. They're stuck in traffic. They're trying to exit so they can drop her off going to San Antonio. What does she do? Gets her kids and starts walking down the freeway. What kind of mother does that? Okay. Wait till you drop me off so my kids are safe. It's not about your kids being safe. Okay. It's about her. All right. It's unfortunate that she got shot. It's horrible. Billy told you. I regret it. I didn't want to shoot her, but he had to do it to protect his daughter. Right. In his mind, it was just that moment. And I told you during voir dire, I said, if I could judge you for your worst 5 minutes of your life, what would be my verdict on you? All right. And that's what you're going to be doing to Billy. 5 minutes when you should be considering the 4 years that we're together. All right. Take a look at the entire picture. Don't focus in on what they're trying to show you. They're going to show you gross things and bad things, and they say all these things. Do you really need to get those issues proved? Really, it was a shooting. She's injured. She was the wife. They've already done that. Get to the good stuff. Okay. Show me how you disprove that the little kid was not abused, that he was trying to protect her. Show me that. They're going to have words. They're not going to have evidence. Okay. No evidence. So they can't disprove that. And because of all that, you have to find him not guilty because they can't disprove it. It's their burden, not mine. I raised the issue. They needed to put up evidence. They didn't do it. So it's a verdict of not guilty. That's the reason you get to not guilty. Not because there was no weapon. Not because they weren't dating. Not because of the other issues. It's because of that. Okay? And all of this was focused toward the prosecution. And it's more vindictive. It's more of anything. Who would take pictures of your daughter to go show your granddaughter or have her later so she can examine it? Nobody does that. Those are horrible pictures. To be able to come back, look what your dad did.
Yes, we do,
Okay?
sir.
God, it's just
We do
absolutely
take horrible
incredible.
pictures.
All right.
That's a mom.
They were praying for Erica. She made it. She survived. But part of the Lord's Prayer is, forgive me for my sins as I forgive those who trespass against me, right? So in this case, that doesn't apply. It's all vindictive. It's all funneled to try to get him punished, okay? Mr. Delgado's already been punished for a lot, all right? A lot of abuse, a lot of just torment that he's been through. And this was his expression when he couldn't do anything to protect himself. He had to protect his daughter, and he acted, okay? Make the state prove all the elements of the offense, which includes now the justification. Can they disprove it? Did they put up any evidence? They didn't put up any evidence. Okay. So be looking at that. They're going to put on some more stuff, say some other stuff, but remember what lawyers say is not evidence. It's not. So in your back of your mind, when he's talking about there's no justification, make him go back and say, that was my evidence. So you can analyze that. Check with your notes. Okay. And part of this for the Delgado family sitting over there. And Mr. Delgado, we thank you for listening to our case. Okay.
I'm going to pause it just to say this lady back here in the corner, something about her. The first thing I thought of when I saw her was Selena. Just something about her outfit. It was so San Antonio-ish, Corpus Christi-ish Selena, the style. It just caught me. Sorry.
May I proceed, Your Honor? Yes, please. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Defense just came up here and told you he's not going to show you any gross pictures. He's not going to do any of that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, these pictures that we're looking at, that the defense calls gross, are the result of what his client did that day. These are the results of what Billy Delgado did to Erica Torres as she drove up, innocently unsuspecting of the assault that she was about to suffer. I'm sorry that he thinks this is gross, but this is Erica's life now because of what the defendant did. Now, he said his client's been through torment, that he's been through a lot. What has Erica been through? Billy Delgado's a healthy young man. He can walk, he can talk, he can jump, he can run. Erica fought for her life. She has bullet holes to remember every single shot she received from him. And then he told you they brought words. That the state only brought words, that we didn't bring evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, we brought a mountain of evidence. We brought a confession. He even told you on the stand, I did it. He confessed to every single element of the offense. And I want to bring your attention, if you could all grab your jury charge, please, and let's turn to page 5. If you look at that top line, it says, under the justification, because this is what they're arguing. He's saying that they have a justification. If you look at that top line, under the circumstances, as the actor reasonably believes them to be, and pay attention to that word, reasonably believes, the actor would be justified in using force to protect himself against the unlawful force he reasonably believes to be threatening the third person he seeks to protect. Now, reasonably believes. To reasonably believe, you must be able to use what? Reason. You must be able to reason with what you're doing. Yet, when he took the stand, and I asked him about shooting Erica, I blacked out. When I asked him about shooting her multiple times, do you remember? I don't remember. I can't remember. He conveniently blacked out. He conveniently doesn't remember. He remembers being in the apartment, and then he remembers the cops showing up. So where was he able to formulate this supposed reasonably believe? Where was he able to use his reason when he's conveniently blacking out throughout this entire process that he can't recall? Ladies and gentlemen, it's an excuse. This is a lie, another lie by the defendant. Just another excuse to justify his actions of what he did to Erica that day. Just the same way he made up the lie about this supposed sexual assault against his daughter by Uncle Louis. The only person that's ever cried wolf about that is the defendant. He's the only person, because Amy's never told anybody else. She's never told anybody else about it. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that you see reasonably believes, you need to prove and, because that's the next word. The next word means that reasonably believes to be threatening the third person he seeks to protect, and. So you need to do both. You need both for the justification of defense of third person. So, and the actor reasonably believes, so again, he's got to use reason, but apparently he was blacked out through this entire process. Blacked out because he couldn't recall what he did. He couldn't remember thinking about what to do or how he did it because he was blacked out. The actor reasonably believes that his intervention is immediately, at that point in time, immediately necessary to protect the third person. The third person, Emmy, who's in the apartment upstairs, that he left Emmy with his roommate. You saw Estrada take the stand. She said Billy dropped off some toys and he told Emmy to play and for me to watch her, that he was going to go talk to Erica. There's no immediacy. Where's the immediate danger? There's no Uncle Louis, the supposed cry wolf that's outside waving, "I'm here, Billy, I'm here." He called Erica over to the house. He told her, "Get here now, come pick up Emmy, I can't do this no more." Why lure her there? If you're going to do the right thing, call LPD. Do what a normal person would do. Call the police or say, "Hey, Erica, look, I'm not going to give Emmy back. We need to figure out what to do about this. Okay? I'm going to keep her. I'm going to keep her with me. I'll give her back to you after we talk to the police." There was no immediacy, ladies and gentlemen. There was no immediacy. So this doesn't apply. And then even then, when the issue of the application, if you turn to page 6, please. When the issue of the application of defense of a third person is raised, the burden of persuasion is on the prosecution to disprove the justification beyond a reasonable doubt. And defense told you we can't disprove that we can't disprove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like I told you in Bordier. This is common sense. We use common sense every day. Every day. You heard the defendant. I blacked out. I blacked out. I blacked out. There is no evidence for his reasonableness. There's no immediacy. Again, just another excuse. So let's talk about what this case is really about. Like I said, defense would have you believe that Billy did this because he was triggered by what happened to his daughter. Well, then why Erica? Why shoot Erica? She didn't do this. If you were triggered by this, she's not the one who abused Emmy. If this is supposed incident that happened pushed you over the limit, she's the wrong person. Why not take the proper measures like I just told you? Call the police. He bragged about his family being in law enforcement, how his grandmother was the captain of police. If that's the case, then you know police will do a good job, right? You know they'll do their job if you just call and take the proper measures like a normal person. Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't get to take justice and be the judge in this case. What he did is not justified by any circumstance. What he did to the mother of his child. And that case was closed. There was no evidence. There was no outcry. The child was interviewed by a trained professional, in a controlled environment, in a comfortable situation where there was no time limit. And Investigator Vaquera told you the child never outcried to any abuse. They gave her a doll to even say, where has anyone ever touched you in any of these places? She never outcried. They gave her an anatomical drawing where it shows the outline of the human body. And they ask, do you know your private parts? Are these areas that no one's supposed to touch you, right? And has anyone ever touched you here? She never outcried after all the opportunities that she had. So of course the case was closed because that was just an excuse, a lie that the defendant made up to shoot and to try to kill Erica Torres that day. Defense would have you believe that Billy is a victim of violence. He's a victim of violence based off a 2-minute and 30-second video. A self-serving video. I'll have you at that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I go home to my wife, I know all the buttons to press. I know what to do to upset her. And if at that point in time, after I've riled her up, and I say, leave me alone, hold on. Let me put in selfie mode real quick. Okay. Stop! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, come on. That was a self-serving video. We didn't see the circumstances leading up to that. Erica told you herself. She took ownership. She said, I needed to get to San Antonio. Well, why didn't you get off? He was driving on the highway. I couldn't get off. Well, why didn't you try exiting the vehicle? It was moving. My kids were in the back. And why were you so concerned? Because if I missed court, I would get arrested. And I would stay in custody until I had court. And I didn't want a warrant out for my arrest. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, she was upset. She was upset because she was being held against her will when the defendant had told her that he would take her to court in San Antonio. But in the video, you hear him say, we were late. We weren't going to make it anyways. She still made it that day, even after getting dropped off, or she didn't get dropped off. She jumped out of the car while it was in between two trailers and walked to the truck stop, waiting for her mom to pick her up. And you saw in the video, the defense like, no, please, yeah, I'm tired of this. And what does he do? He looks down to make sure that he's showing his face. Y'all saw him. He looked down. And then, we're going to crash. What does he do? Afterwards, he pulls up the phone. He's like, all right, let me take it off selfie mode. Let me close it. Yes, he was very concerned about crashing while trying to record a video after he was starting a fight, after he was fighting with Ms. Torres, and she was upset because she didn't want to get arrested. I don't blame her. I don't blame her for not wanting to get arrested. Nobody wants to get arrested. And meanwhile, being held against her will, right? Because she couldn't get out of the moving vehicle. Defense would have you believe that Billy did this because he thought he needed to protect his daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, we already talked about this. There was no immediacy. There was no threat. Emmy was upstairs, locked, or not locked, but in a room with the door closed. I'll have you, because Erica Estrada texted, she said on the stand that the door was closed while she was in the room with Emmy. The front door to the apartment was closed, and Billy Delgado walked outside, apparently conveniently to his benefit. He was blacked out, but he told you, I always carry my gun. I always have my gun. It's small enough for me to carry it. I'm not a convicted felon. I can carry a gun. Ladies and gentlemen, where's the immediacy? Erica didn't rev her engine and pull up. No, she's just pulling up nice and slow, ready to pick up Emmy. And what did she hear? Bang, 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 bang. Yes, Mr. Delgado felt threatened. Ladies and gentlemen, common sense. And most importantly, he called Erica to come over. That's what you need to go back to every single time. He called her there. It wasn't her day. It wasn't her time to pick up Emmy. Emmy was supposed to get picked up on Sunday. It was his visitation. But the defendant lured her there. Why? Because he wanted to ambush her. He wanted to attack her and knew that she wouldn't stand a chance, that she wouldn't suspect it. He wanted to kill her. Like I told you, this case is about choices and consequences. We all have free will to make choices. You heard Sharon Estrada. Billy was making pancakes that morning. He looked at peace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're upset and if Emmy told him this the night before, why not call PD that night? Why not call Erica that night? The moment you just got told that when he claims that his daughter, she jumped in my arms and she was crying. Get the phone. It's not like LPD only works 8 to 5. Call her mother. Let her know. I called the police. I just got told this. No, ladies and gentlemen, because that didn't happen. Erica testified. Billy called her to come over to his apartment to immediately pick up the daughter. He told her, get here now. She told you she was at a friend's house. She dropped what she was doing because she said, Billy told her, get here now. Come pick up Emmy. There was no immediacy. Billy created this situation. He created the situation he wanted. He made a plan to execute Erica Torres. What did Dr. Medeiros tell you? When we asked him about serious bodily injury, all the different definitions, he said, she did everything but die. So we met serious bodily injury. She lost her blood volume. She will have difficulties for the rest of her life, and she will need to be monitored because she will never have a normal life ever again. But at least she can walk normally or look like she walks normally. Use your common sense, ladies and gentlemen. We brought you the pieces of the puzzle. Remember? I said we were going to bring you the pieces of the puzzle, and it may not be a complete puzzle, but you'll be able to make it out. We brought you the videos, the shooting. We brought you the interview. Look at that video. There's no remorse. He looked like nothing. You know, instead of saying, how's Erica? Is Erica okay? Is Erica okay? Instead, he's like, look at my rap sheet. Look at her rap sheet. I don't got nothing. She's been arrested. In his eyes, he thinks of her as less than dirt. Look at the way he treated her that day, the mother of his child. He had the opportunity. Billy Delgado called Erica and ambushed her that day. So we brought you the videos. We brought you the opportunity that he had. We've shown it to you. The weapon and the casings, all 10 casings. We didn't just bring you the casings. We brought you all of them, all 10 opportunities he had to kill her. The confession. He told you he did it. He told you here to your face that he did it. Not only did you see that he said, I did it. I shot the mother of my child. I'll deal with the consequences. He told you on the video when he was arrested, and he told you here in court on the stand. You saw her serious bodily injury with Dr. Medeiros. And they were still married the date of the assault and share a child. So we've proven our case. We've proven that on or about June 1st, 2024, in Webb County, Texas, the defendant, Billy Delgado, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused serious bodily injury. Remember, I told you in voir dire, intentionally, go up to someone directly, point a gun at them, right in front of them, boom. That's intentionally. Knowingly, you see a group of people together, you shoot, you know you're going to hit them if you're aiming at the crowd and they're all jam-packed together. And I said recklessly. When I explained recklessly was that you can appreciate the standard, but you do a gross deviation from it, regardless of the outcome of your actions, right? So even if you think that Billy Delgado says, well, I was just shooting at the car, I wasn't shooting at her. You shoot at a car with somebody in it, you're disregarding the fact that they could get hit. You're disregarding the fact that they could die. You're disregarding the fact that they could get seriously injured. And he did all of those. He intentionally shot at the car. He knew she was going to get shot. And he disregarded that fact when he recklessly shot at her in the car. So all of those three intentional elements are met. And used or exhibited a deadly weapon. A firearm, automatically a deadly weapon. And he also admitted to you, yes, I used a deadly weapon on the stand. During the commission of the assault, namely a firearm and or a G3C 9mm Taurus. This is what he used that day, ladies and gentlemen. Not only what he used in the firearm that he was carrying, this is the one that he likes to carry, right? As he told you that he always carries a gun. But he was also accompanied by its two buddies, 2 loaded magazines. Ladies and gentlemen, he had one intent that day. It wasn't to talk to Erica. He wanted to kill her. He wanted to hurt her. He wanted to remove Erica from Emmy's life for his own personal, selfish motives. And like I said, we've satisfied the family dating relationship. You've heard about their entire relationship, right? You know the truth. Remember in voir dire, I told you, can we know exactly 100% exactly what happened that day? No, right? I told you, because the only way you know is if you were there, if you saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did we show you the acts of Billy Delgado that day, we brought the crime to you. You saw it with your own eyes. You all saw the actions. the lack of remorse. At no point was there any hesitation. And you'll see the video, play it as many times as you want. She pulls up, and without hesitation, he points his firearm and just starts unloading, one after the other. He's not moving. And I know that there was some argument by defense, well, if he wanted to kill her, he could have killed her. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is the car, he was right there in front of it. He was trying his best to aim. He had a mission that day. But what do we have? We have Billy Delgado, still hiding behind his excuses. I blacked out, or I did it for my daughter. Which one is it? You can't have both. You can't have both, ladies and gentlemen. I did it for my daughter to protect her. Okay, well, then you did it? Well, no, I blacked out. Those are completely contradicting statements. That doesn't make sense at all. You did it because you wanted to protect your daughter, but you don't remember doing it because you blacked out? You know why that doesn't make sense? Because it's a lie. It's an excuse for his actions. His own mom told LPD. She testified. She didn't believe Billy. She doubted him. She told LPD, there's no way. She told you on the stand. Yes, I said, there's no way this could have happened to Emmy. She would have told me. Emmy's a talkative child. Well, if she's a talkative child, of course she would have told her. She would have picked up on it. She even told you, yes, I check her underwear when she comes from her mother's. Ladies and gentlemen, she said that on the stand. Your own mom doesn't even believe you. And she tried to stop him. You heard her, that she was talking to him right before he did it. Was he blacked out? Or was he using reason when he talked to his mom? Because he told her, watch this, and then he put his phone in his pocket and boom, 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 boom. But he was blacked out, like he told me, right? He was blacked out. No, ladies and gentlemen. He was trying to execute his own motives. He had an agenda. He had a plan to lure Erica there and execute her. Sharon Estrada, she talked about the box of toys. But I want to talk to you about how, did you hear how she said it? She said it on her own. He looked calm. He looked at peace that morning. If he was so triggered, if he was so bothered by what he heard the night before, how are you going to be in the morning looking calm and at peace? I would be ringing the phones. I'd be ringing the bell. I'd be at LPD banging on the door saying, open up, we're going to talk about this. And I'd be there with my daughter saying, something happened. Remember Fort Dyer when we discussed unhealthy relationships? I asked you, I talked to you all about unhealthy relationships, and we discussed how, yes, maybe we or people we know are involved in unhealthy or toxic relationships. And I asked you all, I said, if someone chose to stay or if they were part of an unhealthy relationship and they suffered abuse, is that abuse justified? And you all took an oath and you all said, no. Just because somebody is part of an abusive relationship or they were part of an abusive relationship, that doesn't mean that their abuse should go unpunished, that it should be allowed. You all said that and you all agreed. And that's why we're here to hold Billy Delgado to his actions. It is time for him to face his consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Torres, she fought for her life. She fought for her life to be here to tell you her story. All 363 days, she fought for her life so that she could have her day in court and she could come and she could take this stand and tell you about the pain, the suffering, and the actions that Mr. Delgado caused to her. Multiple individuals testified. They said that they believed she was going to die. Officer Luis Castillo, off duty, told you, I was pretty sure she was going to die in front of me. Dr. Madero said, if she did not receive medical help, she was going to die. Erica told you, I was trying to get to the hospital. I didn't want to die. Kayla told you, Kayla de la Cruz, she told you she needed to get to the hospital. She was going to die. And let me remind you about something. Erica Torres is not on trial. This is called the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado. That's what this case is called. The victim is not on trial here. She is not on trial. Why? Because she is the victim in this case. And we are here for the actions of Billy Delgado, for what he did, for what the defendant did, for what that man sitting over there did to her. That is why we're here. We're not here for the state of Texas against Erica. And she took the stand. And yes, Like my full counsel told you, we heard their dirty laundry. But you know what? I'll tell you something that she did. She owns it. She takes it. She takes accountability for what she did. She was on probation for what she did. She takes accountability for her actions. But you know who doesn't? The defendant. Because lie after excuse, his actions he still believes were justified. No, ladies and gentlemen. You heard when I asked his tia, his aunt, I said, nobody deserves to get shot, right? 10 times? Yes, I asked her, no woman deserves to be shot 10 times? And she agreed. Nobody deserves that. Nobody. Billy Delgado made his choices, and now it's time for him to face the consequences. So, when I'm done here, you'll go to the back. You're going to turn to the verdict form, and it says, we, the jury, find the defendant, Billy Delgado, guilty of aggravated assault, causes serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon to a family member, felony of the first degree. And you will sign right there, under guilty. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, members of the jury, I'm going to excuse you with the exception of Ms. Pedroza.
Okay, I'm with the luxury of Zoom. Yeah, they go to deliberations. And I want you to know they deliberated for 2 hours, 1 minute, and 15 seconds. And they came back with a verdict. And it was very abrupt. It was very, very abrupt. I mean, they came back with a verdict, and within like just a couple minutes, they were back in the courtroom. I mean, they judge did not mess around.
Okay, could you?
All right. Yeah, 2 hours. Very, very fast. Very, very fast.
Okay, members of the jury, we received notice you have a verdict. Is that correct? Could I have the presiding juror stand momentarily? Is that verdict unanimous, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you hand it to the bailiff for me and you can be seated? Could I have defendant and counsel rise? State of Texas versus Billy Delgado. We, the jury, find the defendant, Billy Delgado, guilty of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon to a family member, felony of the first degree, signed by the presiding juror. Do you wish to have bold?
Yes, sir.
Do they know their numbers or not?
That was so.
Okay, could I have
I mean, did y'all catch all that? Because that was awfully fast. That was blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wait, what did he say? He read that so fast. We're going to replay that just for, yeah. Here we go. Verdict twice. In less than 1 minute.
I mean, you can be seated. Could I have defendant and counsel rise? State of Texas versus Billy Delgado. We, the jury, find the defendant, Billy Delgado, guilty of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon to a family member, felony of the first degree, signed by the presiding juror. Do you wish to have bold?
Yes, sir.
Do they know their numbers or not? Do they know their numbers? Okay, could I have the list, jury list?
And he's going to pull the jury.
Okay, when I call your last name, ladies and gentlemen, the question
And I'm going to zoom through this because he's going to pull the jury.
at this time, as we discussed in voir dire, it is a two-phase process. The defendant, having been found guilty, it is the jury's responsibility to assess the appropriate punishment. Both sides have an opportunity to produce further evidence if they wish to do so. So I'll ask the state to proceed at this time.
So they just, I did not realize State of Texas did this. They roll right into sentencing phase. So here we go. We're still rolling, guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I please support?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first I want to thank you. Thank you for executing your civic duty, and thank you on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and on behalf of Mr. Evans. Now, the law is going to ask you to take the next step. The next step is to determine what the punishment should be. Now, this crime was not a crime of carelessness. It was a choice. You're going to hear evidence that is going to help you make that choice. You will hear from a nurse practitioner that spent days with Erica. He was there trying to help her to recover. He was there when she was trying to get back on her feet. And he's going to explain to you the pain and all the suffering she went through. You're also going to hear from a crash victim. She's going to tell you not only how Billy affected the community directly, but indirectly. And lastly, you're going to hear from the victim herself again. She's going to tell you all the suffering and pain she went through because of what the defendant, Mr. Billy Delgado. And remember, you can consider all of the evidence, all of the aggravating evidence also from the guilt and innocence part of the trial. So all of this new evidence and the aggravating evidence from the guilt and innocence phase of the trial, you can consider it. So make sure you consider everything and determine a fair and firm punishment that Mr. Delgado deserves. All of that evidence is going to help you answer a critical question. It's going to help you answer what sentence will protect the victim, will protect the community, and will reflect the seriousness of this crime. When we conclude, the state is going to ask you to hold the defendant accountable, to impose a sentence that will show the gravity of the harm, the lasting trauma, and the danger posed if this violence caused by the defendant is not met with a firm and just punishment.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll be able to talk to you one more time. Let me say what we are attempting to do. You didn't see the way you saw the case, but you did present some witnesses, some characteristics, Billy. We'll be able to talk a little bit more freely now. We're not mistaking some of the rules. We'll know all the truth about Erica and her family, and Mr. Delgado. Will also be able to testify if he wishes. The family's gonna come up and tell you, all these situations that they had with Erica and all the problems they had with her. They'll tell you all about the good times that they had with Billy, what type of person Billy is, so you can use all that information you receive from the trial and this new information to try to determine the proper sentence. Okay, remember, you qualify for probation, and it's all the way to the maximum amount of punishment. So you folks have a wide range to deal with. All right, thank you.
Ms. Sage, you calling first list?
Your Honor, maybe.
All right, so we're in the sentencing phase, and this one is a little bit hard. I did see a bit of this one. This is the first lady is one of the ladies that was in the car accident. Let's see. Scratch my ears, why don't you guys?
We're gonna need an interpreter.
We needed an interpreter. That's what it was. I remember now. Oh, stop.
Your Honor, these are not the complete list.
Can you see if there's anything else in the jury room as far as exhibits?
Just the photos.
Is there a particular one that you're looking at?
Yes, Your Honor, I was looking for the photos of the crash. But these are injuries and of the scene of the crime. Permission to go off record, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I? We don't have the full list of exhibits here.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, anybody carrying any exhibits on them that are back in the jury room?
Are you serious? The judge is like, where is the exhibit?
One more look in the jury room for us.
Get out. Unorganized. And by the way, we are 11 hours and 25 minutes in, still waiting on the Washington versus Ali and Ali verdict. Yeah, Texas wasted no time. They're straight to sentencing. They're like, let's get this shit show on the road. These dogs, Lola has torn up her daddy's bottle of powder. Like little thing of baby powder. Dogs will be dogs.
Just pictures here. Joe, copies?
Perfect. We got them.
Okay, we can zip through this. And what bothers me,
Please state your name for the record.
now listen, this lady says her name. She does have an accent. We all have our own accents. But the fact that the defense lawyer, Mr. What was his name? Mr. Vega, doesn't bother to at least write it down. Yeah, kids are in everything. He could write it down before, or something. Because I saw when he came up across her, he's so rude. He wants to know her name. He should have known it. He should have paid attention. It just really bothered me. So that's something y'all can look forward to.
Por favor, diga su nombre para que quede constado en actas.
Okay. Mi nombre es Silvia Navarro. Me dedico a trabajar y al hogar. Soy madre de un niño.
My name is Silvia Navarro, and I work at home, and I have one child.
And where do you reside?
¿Dónde está usted viviendo?
Vivo en Zapata.
I live in
Texas.
Zapata, Texas.
Thank you for coming down.
Gracias por venir.
Do you recall the date of June 1st, 2024?
¿Usted recuerda la fecha del día 1 de junio de 2024?
Claro que sí. ¿Cómo olvidar ese día tan triste?
Of course. How could I forget that day that was so sad?
What happened that day?
¿Qué sucedió ese día?
Ese día estábamos en la línea para dar vuelta para agarrar otra calle
That day we were on the road to turn to another street,
y de repente pues se vino un carro encima del carro de nosotros, ¿verdad? O sea, de una troca mía.
then all of a sudden there was a car that came on top of us, one of our cars, our truck.
How did you feel at that moment?
¿Cómo se sintió usted en ese momento?
Pues desesperada, no sabía qué estaba pasando, fue algo muy rápido, algo que no me esperaba.
I felt desperate. I did not know what was happening. It all happened very soon. I was not expecting it.
And what did you do after you were struck by the vehicle?
¿Qué fue lo que usted hizo después de que el vehículo le golpeó?
Pues yo reboté en el vidrio de enfrente y me dolía toda la cabeza, todo el cuerpo.
I bounced off the windshield. I had body aches. My head hurt.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
¿Usted tuvo que irse al hospital?
Sí, me desmayé después,
Yes, I fainted later on,
me llevó la ambulancia.
and I was taking my ambulance.
And how long were you in the hospital?
¿Cuánto tiempo estuvo usted en el hospital?
Pues estuve como medio día.
I was like half a day.
And did you have to go back? Did you have to do any therapy?
¿Usted tuvo que regresar? ¿Tuvo usted que tener alguna terapia?
Tuve que regresar como al tercer día porque el dolor era muy fuerte.
I did have to go back about the third day because the pain was very strong.
And today, do you still have pain?
¿Hoy todavía sufre de dolor?
Sí.
Yes.
And Do you have the means to take care of that pain?
¿Usted tiene con qué cuidarse ese dolor?
Pues hace una semana tuve que buscar un doctor para que me diera algo para el dolor.
A week ago, I had to look for a doctor so that I could get something for the pain.
Okay, let's go back. What happened to your car?
Vamos a regresarnos. ¿Qué sucedió con su automóvil?
Pues mi carro quedó completamente destrozado, pérdida total. Sí, la aseguranza me pagó $2,000, $2,200.
My car was a total loss. It was completely destroyed. Yes, the insurance did pay $2,000, $2,200.
And were you able to get a new one?
¿Usted pudo obtener uno nuevo?
No.
No.
So after that, how did you manage to get around?
Después de eso, ¿cómo usted deambulaba?
Pues pedía RAI para mi trabajo. Ese automóvil lo usaba para llevar a mi hijo a su doctor porque tengo un niño con problemas, autismo, asma, problemas de salud.
I would ask for a ride. That car, I used to use it to go to work. That car, I used it to take my son to the doctor. My kid has problems with his health. He has autism. He has asthma.
And how have you managed to pay for all the car expenses, and the medical expenses?
¿Cómo le ha hecho usted para pagar todos sus costos de su automóvil y sus costos médicos?
Pues con mi trabajo ahorita estoy yendo yo al doctor. Aún se deben los biles del hospital.
With my work, now I'm paying my doctor. I'm still owing the hospital bills.
Has your life changed because of this accident?
¿Ha cambiado su vida debido a este accidente?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
How so?
¿Cómo?
Pues me da miedo manejar. Siento, si un carro está muy cerca, me viene el recuerdo que me van a volver a chocar. Algunas veces busco quien maneje.
Well, I am afraid to drive. I feel if a car is very close to me, it reminds me. And I am afraid, and I look for someone to give me a ride.
Your Honor, permission to publish State Exhibit 28 and 30.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State Exhibit 28.
Le voy a mostrar lo que tenemos como documento de prueba número 28.
Can you tell us in what car you were driving or you were a passenger of?
¿Me puede decir usted qué vehículo estaba usted conduciendo o en qué vehículo era usted la pasajera?
Era la Escape gris.
It's the gray Escape.
So this one.
Esta.
And where were you riding?
¿Y dónde venía usted?
Del lado del pasajero.
On the passenger side.
So right here.
Aquí.
Mm.
Yes.
And it would be right here, correct?
¿Sería aquí mismo?
Ujú.
And that morning, did you foresee what was going to happen to you?
¿Y esa mañana sabía usted lo que iba a suceder ahí?
No, yo esa mañana venía con la intención de venir a comprar un piso para renovar mi trailer. Traía $500, que fue lo que usé para la reca, para mover el mueble de ahí para la salida de Zapata, que vive una hermana ahí.
No, that morning I had the intentions to go buy some flooring because I was going to renew the floor for my mobile home. I had $500 that later on I had to use for the car to be towed to the outside of Zapata. A sister lives there.
And nowadays, are you getting any medical treatment? And if so, how are you paying for it?
Ahora que está recibiendo usted tratamiento médico, ¿cómo lo está pagando?
Pues con mi dinero, con lo de mi trabajo.
With my own money from work.
And is that enough?
¿Y eso es suficiente?
¿Cómo suficiente?
What do you mean by enough?
Is that enough money to cover all the expenses?
¿Es suficiente dinero para cubrir todos sus gastos?
No.
No.
Who passed the witness?
Ma'am, can you please give me your name again?
Señora, ¿me puede dar su nombre nuevamente?
Silvia Navarro Naranjo.
Silvia Navarro Naranjo.
Silvia Guerrero
Navarro.
Navarro. Navarro being your dad's last name?
Navarro es el apellido de su papá?
Sí.
Yes.
Ma'am, did you hire a lawyer for the accident?
¿Usted ocupó un abogado para el accidente?
Ujú.
Is he helping you get money?
¿Él le está ayudando a que usted obtenga dinero?
Nos dio, nomás dijo que la bolsa de la persona que nos había pegado eran $10,000. O él cobró no sé qué tanto, nos sacaron 6,000, como 6,200 para nosotros, para mí.
He only gave us, he told us that the insurance was only up to $10,000 and he billed us. We only got around 6,000, 6,200,
Algo así.
something like that.
Okay, so you received money for some compensation for your injuries, right?
Entonces usted recibió compensación por sus lesiones.
Fue, pues no sé si fue por las lecciones o por el golpe de la troca. No supe. Él nomás nos dio ese dinero.
I don't know if it was for the injuries or if it was because of the damage to the car. He just gave us that money.
Okay. But you didn't elect to go to a jury and try to collect more damages. You chose to settle, and you settled for that amount, for $10,000, right?
Pero usted no ocupó a nadie para poder obtener más dinero. Usted estuvo de acuerdo en aceptar esos $10,000.
Sí, fue lo que nos dijo el abogado que tocaba del aseguro de la persona que nos había chocado, o sea, del accidente, y
Yes.
que no había otra manera que la fuerza que ella tenía.
Yes, that's what the attorney said. That was our share from the person that hit us. That there was no other way. That was our portion.
Okay.
And I will say right then and there, because I've been in plenty of car accidents, that is the insurance paying for the accident, the person that caused the accident, which at that time would have been Erica, because she was shot and she was the one that hit her. So it was Erica's insurance, I am almost positive, that covered and paid for this woman's, the $10,000 she's talking about. So it's irrelevant of what she's got damaged now because of all this.
Would you like for Mr. Delgado to reimburse you for your expenses?
¿Usted quiere que el señor Delgado le reembolse sus gastos?
¿Cómo?
What do you mean?
Well, you're here to testify because you're telling us of all the expenses you have. I'm asking, would it make you whole if we could repay you for those expenses that occurred because of the accident?
Usted está aquí para dar su declaración y está diciendo de todos sus gastos y estamos preguntando si usted quiere ser reembolsada por esos gastos.
Claro que sí.
Of course.
I have no further questions, Judge.
In this entire year, has the defendant or his family reached out to try to pay you?
En todo este año, el acusado, los familiares del acusado han tratado de comunicarse con usted para tratar de pagarle.
No.
No.
You had to pay for that lawyer, correct?
Usted tuvo que pagar a ese abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
How much?
¿Cuánto?
Es que el abogado ese se cobró de lo que tocaba de la bolsa de la persona del automóvil.
The thing is that he,
Serían 3,000, 3,800, algo así.
the thing is that he took his share, I think maybe about 3,800.
So you had to pay money to get money.
Entonces tuvo que pagar dinero para tener dinero,
Claro.
of course.
For something that wasn't your fault,
Por
correct?
algo que no fue su culpa, ¿correcto?
No.
It wasn't.
Ma'am, did you ever reach out to the Delgado family and ask them for money?
¿En algún momento usted contactó a la familia Delgado para obtener dinero?
Claro que no, no sé ni quiénes son. No soy de aquí de Laredo, vivo en Zapata, no conozco a a nadie, ni a la persona que provocó el accidente, no sé las razones.
Of course, I do not know the family. I'm not from Laredo. I am from Zapata. I don't know the person or the reasons.
Okay, just to clarify, you hired an attorney to see if you could get more funds for the accident. And if you obtain funds, you're going to pay him a percentage of the funds you received. Is that right?
Solamente para aclarar, usted contrató un abogado para ver si podía tener usted algunos fondos y cuando recibiera el dinero, él iba a recibir un porcentaje. ¿Correcto?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
And on the day of the accident, who were you with?
El día del accidente, ¿con quién estaba usted?
Estaba con un acompañante, Guadalupe García, era el que iba manejando.
I was with a partner, Guadalupe García.
So there was two people in the car.
Entonces, ¿había dos personas en el automóvil?
Sí.
Yes.
Pass the witness.
No further questions, Judge.
Okay, she excused on subject to recall.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. You're excused. You don't have to come back. Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Okay, excused. Let's call our next witness. Speed trials.
So the testimony given the cause with Chris, hope you got. Have a seat over here.
Have a seat, Judge.
Please.
Oh, he's handsome.
Good afternoon.
He's a little eyebrow trim.
Joe Martinez?
Mr. Martinez, how are you employed?
I'm a nurse practitioner in the trauma department in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. And how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
I've been a nurse practitioner for 7 years, and I've been a nurse since 2012, also in the trauma unit.
And what do you mean by nurse? Is that your title? Used to be your title nurse? Or
Yes, I graduated in 2012 and started practicing as a registered nurse in the trauma ICU of that same hospital.
Okay.
Then I went and obtained my master's in nurse practitioner studies, and I've been practicing as a nurse practitioner since.
And you said about 6 years ago, so it was more or less about 2018?
I started in January of 2019.
Okay, 2019. And are you licensed here in
Texas? Yes, sir.
Okay. What does your practice consist of?
So I take care of perioperative patients, mainly trauma patients. So anyone that's in the acute phase in the hospital that is not an ICU patient and part of the trauma team, I take care of them, as well as outpatient care. So after they get discharged and they do their follow-up appointments, they come and they see me.
Okay, and right now you testify acute patients. Can you tell the jury what that means?
Acute patients are any patients that are ill enough to still be admitted into the hospital, but they are not in an intensive care unit. So they're not ill enough to where they have to be in the ICU, but they are ill enough to where they have to stay in the hospital.
Okay, and you also testified about trauma. You've been dealing with trauma patients since, I believe, 2012. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you tell the jury what that means? Trauma?
So any trauma patients are patients that come in due to a traumatic injury. So majority of patients are usually car crashes, falls from certain heights, gunshot wounds, stab victims. Those are probably the majority of the patients that I see.
Okay, and before we continue, let me ask about your educational background. What is it?
So I obtained my bachelor's in nursing from Incarnate Word in San Antonio. I graduated in 2012. Same year I became a registered nurse. While I was a trauma intensive care unit nurse, I also went to school to obtain my master's at UT Health San Antonio. And after graduating, took my boards and started practicing as a nurse practitioner in 2019.
Okay, and during the course of your duties as a nurse practitioner, have you examined and treated individuals with injuries? Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
With injuries? You've treated patients with injuries?
Yes.
And those injuries mainly consist of what kind of injuries?
Mainly consists of traumatic injuries, usually gunshot wounds, stab wounds, car crashes, orthopedic injuries that they sustain from what we call polytrauma, meaning that you have multiple injuries from one traumatic episode.
Okay, so since you've been dealing with trauma victims and injuries, what are the injuries that you most typically see?
I would say gunshot wounds, stab wounds, and rib fractures,
Okay.
and orthopedic injuries from car crashes.
Okay. Do you know the victim in this case, Ms. Erica Torres?
I do. I took care of her for all 3 of the hospitalizations that she had in the last year.
Okay, so when was the first time you actually met with the victim, Erica Torres?
I met Erica, I believe it was in the 1st or 2nd week of July of 2024, after she had been in the intensive care unit for over a month. And my colleagues from the intensive care unit transferred her to me and gave me a report on what happened during her hospitalization in the ICU. And I took care of her from then moving forward.
And you testified that you work for University Hospital in San Antonio.
Correct.
Okay. So once you met Erica for the first time in early July 2024, what was your opinion, your medical opinion?
That she was extremely sick.
And what do you mean by extremely sick?
She had a lot of different injuries for different systems. So for her lungs, mainly in her abdomen, but she also had ongoing infections that required antibiotics. At that point, she wasn't moving or getting out of bed yet.
Okay.
She still had a breathing tube in her trachea, and she was still pending further surgical interventions.
What is the trachea?
So the tracheostomy tube is a tube that we put in someone's trachea when they've been on the breathing machine or the ventilator for prolonged periods of time, where it's not safe enough to just take the tube out. So we make a breathing tube for them that goes into their trachea.
Okay, so when you started treating Ms. Torres on July 2024, how many times a week would you visit with her?
I saw her on rounds every day that I was at work, so at least 5 days a week.
5 days a week, and that continued for how long?
Every day that I was at work, and that she was still in the hospital. So through her discharge May 30th, aside from the 2 times that she was discharged from the hospital, then I would see her in clinic.
Yeah, Ms. Torres testified that she was released from the hospital May 30th of 2025. So about, if you can tell the jury, you dealt with Erica, you visited with her, you treated her, you even prescribed medicine for how long in those until May 30th of 2025?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day that I was there, I would see her.
Okay, and so you know her progression pretty much from June or July 2024 all the way to May 30th, 2025.
I know it very well, yes.
And have you met with her after she was released on May 30th, 2025?
Yes, I've met with her at the hospital once or twice, I believe.
Okay, are you still gonna be treating her?
Yes, so she's supposed to follow up with us still to continue her care.
Okay, so the jury already found the defendant guilty of ag assault. They already established that it was serious bodily injury. What can you tell the jury about any long-term effects that Ms. Erica Torres might have from this point on to the future?
So since discharge from hospital, she's been referred to a gastroenterologist. Ms. Torres has about less than 150 centimeters of her small intestine. The average for an adult person is anywhere from 300 to 800. So she has a very limited amount of small bowel.
Okay, and how can that affect her? Only having 105 centimeters of her small intestine.
So your small intestine is where the majority of your nutrients and certain medications work on the small intestine. So she's at high risk for malnutrition, and certain medications that she takes will not be working for her the way that they would for a normal person.
Okay, you testify malnutrition. What does that mean?
That means that she's not getting the vitamins or minerals or calories from food that we eat in the same manner that people that have a full small bowel do.
Okay, and how can that affect her in the future?
She may have a hard time maintaining her weight, diet tolerance. She may not eat certain foods the way that we do. And she can also not be able to get the same medications that we get and get the same effects from them.
What exhibit is the picture we took on Sunday? Remember? Judge, my approach?
Yes.
I'm going to show you state exhibit 49 to 51. And you testified earlier that you've seen her since July 2024, so you're familiar with her injuries.
Correct.
When she was in the hospital. Okay. I'm going to show you state exhibit 51, 50, and 49. These pictures were taken on Sunday, July 27th. Have you seen Erica like this?
Yes, I saw when that wound was actually completely open.
Are you talking about this one?
No, the one on her flank. Yes. So that was actually an open wound. That's a split thickness skin graft. That's a wound that we made by taking skin from her thigh and transplanting it to her flank so that it can actually cover. And that's what it looks like healed.
Healed.
Yes, that's a healed skin graft, correct.
Can this ever look better?
There's certain surgical procedures that patients may have after getting a skin graft to help it not look as scarred down, but these are not an option for her.
Why not?
Because she's too high risk of a patient because she's had multiple abdominal surgeries.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to show you set exhibit number 50. You recognize this injury from Ms. Torres?
Yes, so that is her, I believe, right side. So she had wounds on both of her flanks, the right and the left. She had developed a flesh-eating bacteria when she was initially in the intensive care unit that required her to go to the operating room multiple times to help cut away all of that muscle that was necrotic.
Do you remember the timeline of that?
That was when she first came in. I believe that was in early June. She was still in the ICU, but when she was down in the acute care unit with me, we were still sending her back to the operating room for washouts of that.
Can Ms. Torres ever fix this?
No, it's not recommended that she have any other surgeries to her abdomen.
And for the same reason, because of her skin.
Correct, because she could get really sick. She's at high risk for any surgeon that goes in there can nick her bowel and cause the same injuries that she had before.
Friday, I show you set exhibit number 51 against visualization on July 27th, Sunday before trial. You also recognize this?
Correct. That's her midline of her abdomen. She had, I believe, at least 3 exploratory laparotomies. And then her most recent time that we opened that wound was on April 15th for her takedown of her fistula that she developed.
And what is that?
So Ms. Torres developed what's called an intracutaneous fistula, meaning that there was a portion of her bowel that was communicating to the outside of her skin. So anytime that she would eat or drink anything, her gastric contents would actually come out. So it wouldn't make its way down the entire intestine. So she wasn't able to absorb any of the food. And the only way that we were able to treat that is to keep her from eating anything by mouth. So she was not allowed to eat anything by mouth for at least 6 months.
Until April 2025.
Correct.
And Ms. Torres also testified about this little thing that she has. Can you tell the jury what this is?
That's the remainder of the wound that she has from her surgery in April. That wound actually extended all the way down to the bottom of her abdomen. And we did what are called wound vac changes, where we would take a vacuum to help close it up. And that was getting changed 3 times a day at the bed, or 3 times a week at the bedside. This is the remainder of an opening that hasn't closed yet.
Do you think that opening is going to close soon, or it's going to be there for a while?
It's hard to tell. It should be closing, but as of right now, we're just having a difficult time getting it to close completely.
Okay. And again, another question. Can Ms. Erica Torres get plastic surgery so she can fix her abdomen?
We have recommended that she's not a good surgical candidate for that.
And Mr. Martinez, does this look normal to you?
It just, in comparison to a normal person, absolutely not.
Mr. Martinez, you also testified about the risk of malnutrition. Can you describe what you mean by that?
So she cannot eat the same types or amounts of food that a person without her injuries is able to. So she gets nauseous very easily. We've advised her from having big meals, so she usually takes very small meals. So the amount of food that she eats is very limited.
Okay.
Therefore, she won't have the kind of nutrition that a normal person would have. So if she continues to be nauseous, she'll have a difficult time eating those foods.
And can that change in the near future?
It's very unlikely because you cannot grow more small bowel and you cannot get a small bowel transplant.
Okay.
So this is an anatomical issue that she has. That's not going to change.
What about disease processes? Can you please tell the jury what that is?
So if she were to develop, if she with her age advancement, if she were to develop diabetes or high blood pressure, she may be a little bit more difficult to manage than a normal person because a lot of these medications work on specific parts of your small bowel. So because she has...
And what do you mean by small bowel? What is that?
Her small intestine.
Okay.
So Erica has a very small amount of small intestine. And if she develops high blood pressure or diabetes, the medications that are used to treat those will not work on her the way that they would work on somebody that has the full extent of their small intestine because they work specifically in that portion of the bowel.
Okay, so she'll be limited in taking all that.
She'll have
medicine?
more limited options, correct.
Okay.
And specifically for any medications that say extended release, those medications require their extended release. So they go through the entire bowel, small and large intestine, and they require a lot more time for absorption. So she's just not going to absorb what she needs out of those medications.
And that is important in case she does develop high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes.
Correct.
Is that going to work the same as like a regular person?
Correct.
Okay, and Ms. Erica Torres also testified about having PTSD. Did you treat her for PTSD?
We actually consulted our psychiatry team that's in the hospital for the PTSD.
Did you prescribe any medicine to her about?
Yes, they recommended medications. Unfortunately, during the initial portion of her hospitalization, when we weren't allowing her to have anything to eat or drink, the medications that were available to her were not an option for her because they were in pill form. So we had very limited options that were able to be given to her through her vein because that's all we were using at the time.
And just for the record, please describe to the jury what PTSD is.
It's a post-traumatic stress disorder. After somebody has a traumatic event, they can develop signs and symptoms of reliving the situation, but also can be extremely anxious, paranoid. Some of these actually, which happened to Ms. Torres, they can actually be seen physically. So she would become extremely nauseous whenever she was asked about why she was in the hospital or what happened prior to her being in the hospital.
Okay, so let's go back to when she was in the hospital. You testified that you treated her for about maybe 11 months, from July to May 30th, 2025. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so when you saw Erica and the progression of her injuries and her, I guess, willingness or her will to live, can you comment on that? What you experienced, what you personally observed from Erica Torres?
She was definitely very determined. So she, whenever we asked her to, get out of bed, and even if she was feeling weak or she was feeling tired, she would make it a point to get out of bed, and then she would try to even walk more. She never wore a gown. She always wanted to be in her own clothes.
Okay.
She had visitors. She would get her nails done at the hospital because she was there forever. So she would have a friend come and do them for her. She was trying to, in my opinion, be as normal as possible after being in the hospital for almost a year.
And let me ask you, I guess, a follow-up question on that. Will she ever be normal again?
In comparison to a person that...
Normal person?
No.
She also testified that she can only lift about 10 pounds right now.
Correct.
Is that going to change in the future, or she's always going to be limited?
She's always going to be limited. She shouldn't be moving a couch or picking up anything super heavy.
And based on the injuries that Ms. Torres sustained, do you think she can get pregnant, on your medical opinion?
I would say no, but I would probably defer that question to a gyne expert.
I'll pass it with this judge.
Just a few questions. What's your last name again?
Martinez?
Mr. Martinez. Is there medication that she can use that can be absorbed through the skin, like some compound?
He should have written down the man.
medications?
To be respectful, he should have. Shut up! I'm talking. He should have written down the man's name before he walked up to him. What's your name again? Okay. I'll be quiet. Mute, because this dogs are out of control. They're looking at reflections.
It depends on what medications you're asking for. So there are some transdermal medications, but it just depends on which ones and what you want them for.
Okay. And as you see her today, is she malnourished?
She is not eating as much as she should. Yes. So she actually has an appointment with a gastroenterologist next month.
So she should be gaining more weight at this time, is what you're saying.
Weight is not something that we use very much as far as malnourishment or not. She would need to get labs drawn to see what her nutrition labs are looking like.
And there's other ways she can get nutrition?
We treated her to have nutrition, which is not optimal, but it was the only option that we had at the time. She was having to get nutrition through her vein. But that's a very high risk because it can also cause liver damage, which in some cases for her, it actually did.
That's all I have, Judge.
No further questions.
See, excused, not subject to recall?
That's correct. Not from the defense.
Okay, I don't hear anybody asking for recall, so you're excused not to come back to her. Thank you. Your next witness.
Ms. Erica Torres, Judge.
Erica's coming back. She's coming back to stand. She's got more. No, case one. We already heard the verdict. The dogs are out of control.
Okay, then go ahead and have a seat. You've been previously sworn. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello, Erica.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Okay.
Erica, I want to start off by asking, how have the actions done by the defendant on June 1st, 2024 affected you?
I have lack of nutrition. I usually am always weak. I have a lot of scars, a lot of pain. Pain is usually internally, my stomach.
Okay, well, I guess, so, seemed like a lot. I guess let's start with the physical first, all right? And if you will, if we can start from the head down, okay? What type of injuries did you have to get treated because of what Mr. Delgado did?
Well, I have a hole left from the trach. It's just there. And then one of the bullets went through my dominant left hand.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor? I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 53. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I took it.
You took this photo?
I took the screenshot of my x-ray.
And it's a true and accurate depiction of what it portrays to be?
Yes.
Has it been altered in any shape or form?
No.
All right. Your Honor, I'll tender to defense for any objection to State's Exhibit 53.
I don't think I received these medical records in discovery, so I'm gonna object. Unless they're in discovery, we can use them.
They are in discovery.
Okay, which ones are they?
They're tendered to you.
Judge, I don't remember seeing this in discovery. Also, I object.
Were they tendered?
Yes, Your Honor, they were tendered. We tendered him a hard drive with all the pieces of evidence we had. This was on that hard drive.
Okay, well, I guess if you're sure, as an officer of the court, I'll overrule the objection. You may proceed. Submit.
Thank you. Provision published, Your Honor?
Yes.
Erica, what are we looking at here?
That is my left hand. In between my middle finger and index finger, you will see small little dots in between the two knuckles. Those.
Now let me stop you there. Are they?
Well, there's bullet fragments right there, and as well in between the hand.
So
Like-
is this right here?
Yes.
And this little dot right here?
Yes, and then that one as well. That as well, and then in between the two middle fingers, that little white line that's in between, those are bullet fragments as well.
Okay, and which hand is this?
This is my left hand. It's my dominant hand.
And where are those fragments today?
They're still in my hand. They cannot be removed. If removed, they would cause a lot more damage.
What kind of damage?
Probably not being able to function correctly. At the moment, I'm able to move my hands, but I have no sensation in these three fingers. I have multiple pain, always radiating up to my arm, down all the way to my neck, due to the fragments and the damage that is to my nerves on my hand.
And do you have a hole here? Or more
Yes, I have a hole and I have a scar.
Thank you. Have you regained confidence in that hand?
No, I have not.
And you said that that was your dominant hand?
Yes.
So are you able to write today?
I'm able to write, not as legible, and I'm unable to hold a pen or pencil completely.
Okay. Now, where else were you injured?
I have a lot of injuries on my abdomen. There's just multiple injuries. I have multiple surgeries. I had a hole with my intestine out. With the intestine being out, it had a fistula, which is a hole.
Now, real quick, you said you had a hole. How long did you have that hole?
I still have it. It still hasn't completely healed.
Okay. Now, and you were talking about a fish. What was it?
A fistula. It's a hole. The fistula was located in my stomach. So all the acid that our stomach has to break down foods was spilling out through there. Anything that I would intake, as in water, anything to drink, food, medications, anything was coming out through that hole. Drainage was every day. I was stuck to a wall suction, and it suctioned out every day what I was spitting. For the first couple of months, I was usually stuck in bed. Due to being in bed for such a long time, I had to relearn how to walk as well.
Okay, but let's move back a little bit. So you said you weren't able to, were you able to eat food?
No, I wasn't able to eat food at all while I was there at the hospital, nor drink anything.
Okay, and how long were you not able to eat food for?
For almost a whole year.
And not being able to eat food, how did that affect you?
It emotionally and mentally, it's really, really hard. It's like as if somebody's depriving you from everything.
And did it affect you physically in any shape or form?
It did. I was underweight. I had no muscle. My hair was falling out. My teeth were hurting constantly. I would eat to keep nutrition. It was through an IV in my arm. That was like that for like 11 months. And Monday, 3 times out of the week, I had wound care, which were dressings that they would come in and remove all the dressings, all the tape, everything that they had, wash, clean, everything they needed to do to keep this area from getting infected again. Doing that and being on the meds that they had me on, I felt everything. I felt every tug, every pull, my skin burning. I would always ask myself, like, why? Like, why am I having to go through this? And why is it that I'm surviving all of this?
You mentioned skin burning. What do you mean your skin was burning?
That hole that I had, the acid that would fall out, sometimes it was so much that it wasn't able to suction out. And because of that, so it would sit in the pocket, and around my skin around the hole would burn off.
Now, what injuries, if any, did you receive below your waistline?
A double compound fracture on my right foot.
Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 54. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's a screenshot that I took.
Okay, and is it an accurate depiction of what it portrays to be?
Yes, it is.
Has it been altered in any shape or form?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, let the record reflect I'm tendering to defense State's Exhibit 54 for inspection and any objection.
Objection, Judge.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 54. Can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at here?
That is my right foot. It's a complete break.
Is that where it's circled there?
Yes.
So that's the complete break you're speaking of?
Yes. And I have rods, screws, and I have a plate.
So you have, and where is this plate and rods and screws currently today?
Still in my foot. I will be unable to remove them. I have to keep them on like forever.
Why is that?
Because that piece right there that is broken,
This piece?
yes, does not heal. So the screws and rods and metal keep my foot together.
Has that affected your mobility in any way?
Yes, I am able to walk. I cannot wear certain shoes. My foot always is swollen. It's always in pain. I do walk. Walking is only minimal. Can't walk for a long time. At the moment, I cannot run and I cannot jump. I'm unable to lift anything more than 10 pounds.
Now, earlier you testified that you had to relearn to walk. How long did it take you to become mobile after this accident?
Without any assistance or using a walker or anything, would be around the time in January, maybe February. And it was very minimal.
And this is
of 2025.
Of 2025?
Mm-hmm.
And what would you think during your mobility recovery?
I did not see it ending. I didn't see an ending. There was always something new, always another complication. There was always another hurdle to have to go. It feels like it's a never ending hurdle with all these injuries.
At any point in time, did you ever want to give up or feel hopeless?
Yes. Yes, I did multiple times. I started losing sleep over it. I don't have sleeping like I have insomnia because it's constant. Like I said, always in pain. It's always just a reminder of everything that I have to go through the next day. And the next day is always a hurdle to have to just get up itself.
What would you say was the length of your recovery?
I'm still in recovery. I'm never gonna be done with recovery. I have short gut syndrome. I don't absorb foods, liquids correctly. I cannot, I don't have energy throughout my day. Just simply walking around, going upstairs or going downstairs, it's a struggle. It is.
And you mentioned that you will always be in your recovery. Are you still being treated for your injuries today?
Yes, I still am. I am seeing multiple doctors at the moment.
What medications are you currently on?
At the moment, I'm taking a Protonix. I'm taking Lyrica, Zoloft, Seroquel for sleep, and I take a Gatix. It's an injection that has to be taken every day, and that helps with some of the absorption in food that I can intake throughout my day.
Did you have to take a Gatix today?
Yes, every morning.
Did you ever have any complications while you were in the hospital?
No, I was a healthy 31-year-old with no complications.
I'm sorry. Did you ever have complications while you were in the hospital?
Yes, multiple complications.
What kind?
From what I've understood, it was always one thing after another at the beginning of the stay. After they were able to stable me and kind of figure out, it was always day to day. It wasn't, oh, we're going to do this because this is a long period of time. No, we had to wait day by day. Surgeries were not planned ahead of time. Surgeries were literally planned within like just days just to see how I was.
How has your life changed emotionally? How has this affected your mental state?
I've never had anxiety. I never felt depression. And it's just an absolute horrible feeling. PTSD is even worse. You lose sometimes time. You're just sitting there and you're just thinking, and it's playing over and over in your head. And you're trying to get out of it and you can't. And you just sit there. It's kind of like if you feel numb and you're trying to wake up from it and you can't. So mentally, I'm constantly struggling.
Prior to this, were you on any of these medications?
None. I was healthy, 31, no broken bones, no medications.
How have the actions of Mr. Delgado affected your family?
It's affected everybody very differently. My parents had to start preparing for choices that I really do not believe any parent should have to make. My daughters, they're so innocent. They have an insane mind, and they're so scared. I can't even leave a room sometimes. My oldest was not even present at the time, and she is terrified to leave me alone. She tracks my every move because she is terrified that her mom isn't gonna come home. How am I supposed to explain something like that to an 11-year-old? And then I have my baby. How is she supposed to see her dad, her biological father, do what he did? How is she supposed to explain that? How is she supposed to go to school and be around kids that might know what's going on? My daughter's innocence have been taken away, and they were taken away by her father. My children should not be going through this. This is horrible.
Can you do any of the things that you used to enjoy prior to this accident?
At the moment, I'm not able to.
Like what? What can't you do?
We would always be either out at the ranch riding. I cannot ride horses right now, so my daughters have to do it on their own. We used to go to the gym a lot together, all three of us. Swimming, they love swimming. I cannot get into a pool at the moment. Simply driving. I mean, right now, my mom and I, we watch the girls together and stuff, but my mom sometimes does have to go to work. If they want to go somewhere, they have to wait because I'm not able to drive.
Why can't you drive?
Because my doctors are not allowing me to drive due to the PTSD that I have and the trauma that I have. It's not safe, and as well, my abdomen is still open, so they do not think it's safe for me to be conducting a vehicle.
Would you say that you're able to live your life normally?
No. I'm not able to. I used to be very carefree. I was never aware of my surroundings. I really never believed anything bad would happen. And now I am constantly looking at the cameras in our house. I am terrified when people come to the door. I do not like any confrontation at all with anybody. I literally shut down and don't say nothing. Like, it's just horrible. My sense of feeling safe and secure is already taken away.
Are you able to carry your daughters?
No. Like I said, I'm not able to lift 10 pounds or more. So I haven't been able to carry my baby at all for the past year.
Erica, how do you feel here sitting in court today?
I am nervous. I'm just really, really nervous. I want justice. I've had to pay for my wrongdoings. I've had to appear in court. I've had to deal with all the wrongdoings that I've done. I want justice for myself too. I may not have outcried many other times that I could have, but this isn't supposed to happen. My life was not supposed to be in his hands. He's not God.
Do you believe that Billy Delgado gave you a life sentence of pain and suffering?
Yeah, he did. He did. He gave me a life sentencing, and he didn't just give it to me, but like I said, he gave it to my daughters. gave it to my family and my friends.
Pass the witness.
Ms. Torres?
Mhm.
The jury is here to determine Mr. Delgado's sentence, right? Which will probably include a prison sentence. You understand that?
Yes.
I mean, you have experience being in jail. Did you have a very pleasant experience while you were there?
No.
Back in 2012, you were booked into the Laredo Police Department for assaulting a family member. How many days in jail did you do for that?
I was not in jail. I was in there for 6 hours.
Okay, so you paid for that one by 6 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. In 2016, you were assaulted for an assault causing bodily injury. How many days in jail did you do for that one?
In 2012 and 2016?
Yes.
No.
None?
In 2016. In 2012 and 2016?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. In 2012, I did not get arrested in 2012.
Doesn't that belong with your brother?
No.
Which one was that one?
That has to be in either 2014. 2016 has to be the one with my brother. I never got arrested in 2012.
What about the accident involving damage, driving while intoxicated, and resisting arrest? Is that you?
Yes, I did get arrested for that.
That was 2023?
Yes.
And what happened in that case?
I'm sorry?
What happened in that case?
It's still pending.
Okay. How many days in jail did you do for that one?
6 hours.
And the one for your brother was 6 hours?
I was in the holding cells.
What about the 2023 assault causing bodily injury?
Yes, I did 6 hours as well.
And the Department of Public Safety arrest for assault causing bodily injury in November 14, 2023. How many days for that one?
I'm sorry. No, the assault for Billy, they did not arrest me. They started the investigation and then they set out a warrant out for my arrest.
Okay.
And when the warrant was set out, that was the one at DPS that they had arrested me for. And again, that one was 6 hours.
And the Laredo Police Department for manufacturing, delivering, or controlled substance?
That is
Less
still
than a
under
gram?
investigation.
Okay, did you get arrested for that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and how many hours for that one?
I was, due to when I was released from the hospital, I went in and turned myself in. And due to all the damages, I still had tubes. I had the hole in my stomach, tubes everywhere. I was medically released.
That was in June 11, 2025. You were just out of the hospital for a week.
Exactly.
Okay. And was that, you were actually detained for that case earlier and
Nope.
arrested? It was the same time.
Sorry?
I mean, were you arrested for the?
No, I was not arrested. They did an investigation, presented a warrant.
Mhm.
The warrant was set out, turned myself in, and it's pending right now.
And when were you supposed to have possessed the cocaine?
Objection, Your Honor. That's her relevance, Judge, and she's already answered the question, Judge. She's going to accept the facts. This is under investigation. It's not a case that's been indicted or anything, Your Honor. She's not been convicted of this, Judge.
It's weird sentencing. Weird sentencing. It's her character's at issue.
Well, no, I disagree with that. If she's got a pending case, then that is on her for potential bias voting. So I'll have to inquire pending cases. So
So we have a total, you're saying, and there's other incidents where you weren't arrested, the police were called, right?
No shit. The judge just overruled that and is going to let him continue asking this line of question. I don't get it. This is tacky.
Yes, with Mr. Billy Delgado, yes.
Okay. So at least we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We won't count the one in June because you shouldn't have, they couldn't detain you very long because of your medical condition, right? But 1, 2, 3, 4, and the cocaine must have been prior to June 1st, right?
From I believe so, yes. I was not aware about these charges until April of 2025.
Okay. So how could you have picked up a cocaine charge if you're June 1st, 2024?
Again, I was not arrested by an officer. I am still pending those charges. My lawyer, I still need to sit down and talk to him about these charges.
Okay, so you're telling us that prison is not a fun place to be at. Jail is not a fun place to be at, I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Okay. And that's basically been your experience of being in jail.
Yes,
And you paid for whatever you did, right?
yes,
Now, you already have a protective order, a lifetime protective order, right?
yes, I do.
So Billy can't see you without being arrested, being close to you without being arrested.
That is what the paper says.
Okay. He can't even see his daughter, Esmeralda, as well. He can't be within a certain amount of yards or he gets arrested.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's another form of punishment for him, right?
On behalf of his choice.
That's another form of punishment, though.
Yes,
Just like you were punished 6 hours at the city jail for what you've done, Billy's also being punished, right?
yes,
Now, you have a brother named Louis?
yes, I do.
Okay. And has he been to prison?
Yes.
For what?
I don't know.
He's your brother, you wouldn't know?
No, I don't.
Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did you discuss his experiences in prison?
No, I
Objection to
don't.
relevance.
Judge, it's relevant. If they're trying to send my client to prison, I want to know what she's heard.
Your Honor, he's talking about a completely different, an entirely different person.
I'll sustain objection to this witness.
You have two brothers, right?
Yes, I do.
Has the other one been to prison?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I do.
I mean,
I have 3 brothers in total, and I have 2 younger sisters.
and you share the same mom and dad?
We share the same dad.
Same dad. Your mom's been married how many times?
She's 3
Objection as
times.
to relevance, Your Honor.
Sustained.
And those are the only, Louis is the only one that's been to prison?
Objection as to relevance, Your Honor, and he's already been instructed that that question wasn't relevant by the court, Judge.
Well, it's repetitious. You already got an answer to that, so I'll sustain objection. What else?
Ma'am, do you ever remember sending a text to Ms. Delgado, Billy's mom, basically apologizing what you put your daughters through?
I don't recall. I used to talk to Ms. Delgado a lot. She was the only person that I had in San Antonio, and granted, I had gone to her house multiple times because I was getting away from Billy, and I would tell her, like, I don't understand why is this happening, but I don't want to give up. They are my daughters, that was their dad, and I wanted to keep my family together. This was my second marriage, and I wanted to keep what was a family together.
I mean, basically you say you're sorry for putting your hands on him, on Billy, and I apologize to Billy every day when I do. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I do apologize to him.
And there's no excuse for me to put my hands on him, but I'm sorry for putting my girls in this situation. I put them through. I love my daughters and I hate what I have put. Is that?
Well, if you can tell me the date that text was sent and the conversation prior to that, then I would understand why I was sending that text message.
July 17, 2023?
July 17, 2023?
I think you were on your way to, were you on your way to SA?
July 17, 2023?
Mm-hmm.
No, I was not.
That was almost a year before the
But
incident.
do you remember texting things like that to Connie?
I probably have.
This is stupid. Totally irrelevant. Just disgusting. Nuh-uh. He shouldn't have been allowed to go there and ask all those questions. I'm just thoroughly not happy with him.
How many assault cases do you have, Eric? I'm sorry, I think I lost track.
Objection to asked and answered, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Let me see. 11/14. 11/14, okay. Erica, I think I missed one. The assault that you had in Bear County, that was, what month was that? Do you remember?
No, I'm not aware what month.
Remember the year?
22? 22?
22? Because you already testified that you were on deferred adjudication for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you think all those assaults and records that you have, do you think that play into anything about this case?
No.
No? Okay. That's all I have this witness, Judge.
Nothing further from this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, then you can have seen program, recall. This is what you stand over. Next question.
I have no clue who the next witness is.
State rest, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge. We're saying, start off with Miss Vanessa.
I hope it's not too distracting.
Okay, Megan Badwell.
Right hand, some sort of evidence of testimony, you're giving this cause to be true self. So see it. Never seen.
Miss Bagwell, can you give us your complete name, please?
Megan Lee Bagwell,
Okay, and where do you reside, ma'am?
Burleson, Texas.
Okay, and how do you know Mr. Delgado here sitting next to me?
I'm the mother of his firstborn child.
Okay, so you had a relationship for some time?
Yes, for 5 years.
Okay. Do you know him to be a dangerous person?
Not at all.
I mean, do you, you have one child together, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you manage the visitation periods with Mr. Delgado?
Because he does lived in Laredo, he would get him for holidays for 1 month during the summer, the standard custody agreement.
Okay, and does his son enjoy visiting with him?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you encourage the visitation?
I do.
Okay, do you consider yourself to be a good mother?
I do.
Okay. If Mr. Delgado was a dangerous person, you wouldn't allow him to see your son, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay, but you've never seen any tendency like that? You've never had any interactions with your son to cause you to be scared of your child being alone with Mr. Delgado?
No, my son adores him.
Now, we're here because the jury sitting over there is going to determine Mr. Delgado's sentence. Okay? We don't know what they're going to do. They have a wide range of punishment. You heard you've heard some of the conversations with the injuries and all this stuff. I mean, does this scare you if Mr. Delgado was alone with you, that he would shoot you or something like this?
No, he would never do that to me.
If he has a prolonged absence from seeing your son, you think it's going to affect his relationship?
Yes.
It's going to affect your son's life?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. How old is your son?
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the jury sends him to 5 years, you won't see him until he's 16, right?
Correct.
Sends him to 10 years, you won't see him until he's 21.
Correct.
Why?
By that time, he's all the important information that he should be receiving from his father. When he's a growing young man, he's going to miss out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any memories that you spent together with Mrs. Delgado and your son? Any good memories?
A million.
You want to share one with us?
There's too many. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but my son enjoys talking to his dad, spending time with him.
Okay.
When we were together, we were a family. We had our regular fights that normal people have, and the fights that they would have were not normal. They were extremely unhealthy, extremely toxic. And I would tell both of them that it wasn't right.
Okay, but when you had argument, when you were in a relationship with Billy, you argued, right?
Yeah, we had discussions and we would sit down and talk about what and why and how we could fix it.
You didn't throw weight at him, did you?
No.
Would you like to see Mr. Delgado be able to try to lead a productive life and repay whatever he owes and restitution to Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
What?
Objection, answer the question, Your Honor. You can ask for specific punishment as to the registrar.
Okay, would you like him to continue to support his son and be a good father to him?
Yes, I would like for him to be in my son's life.
Is that what you're telling the jury here today?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's all I have for Ms. Baggage.
Before anybody speaks, bet your sweet ass. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Amber alert. Waco, Texas. I'm sorry. Child abduction, Waco, Texas. Suspect vehicle, gray 2019 Chevrolet Trax with Texas license plate VML 8873. Missing child, Melina Toussaint, 3-year-old black female, last seen wearing an orange sweatsuit. Suspect is Tanisha Toussaint, 31-year-old black female. Damn. Yeah. Amber alert. Wow. All right. That's scary. I was fixing to say, what I was going to say was, you bet your sweet ass that the prosecutor, when he gets up to speak to her, he's going to know her name. He's not going to say, I'm sorry, lady, what was your name? He's not going to do any of that. He knows. He paid attention. Watch. I haven't watched this. I'm prejudging. I'm thinking, this is me speaking out. So let's roll and see what happens. I just want to see. That's why I paused it so quick, because I wanted to see. Okay. Ready?
Yes, Your Honor. You said that you had a child with Billy. Yes, Your Honor. You said that you had a child with Billy Delgado?
He didn't even use her name.
Okay. Were you in a relationship with Mr. Delgado?
Correct.
How long were y'all in a relationship for?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
When was that?
It began in 2012 and ended in 2018.
I tried.
Okay. In 2018?
He didn't even use her
That's when
name.
you started dating Erica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
Did he left you for Erica?
No.
Why did y'all separate?
We were just young and weren't a good fit for each other, and we would rather co-parent and be cordial with each other than continue to try to have a relationship that we knew wasn't going to work.
Maria knows.
Does Mr. Delgado pay you child support?
He does.
Has he paid you child support in the last year?
No, he's been incarcerated.
And you said that y'all were not a good fit, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you consider the actions of Mr. Delgado shooting Erica Torres 10 times dangerous?
Yes.
You would consider him a dangerous person?
No, I consider what he did dangerous. I don't think he's a dangerous person.
But you would agree with that, what he did that day was wrong?
Yes, I do.
And you would agree that what he did that day was a poor example for his son?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Any questions, Judge? Fine.
Okay, then you step down. You're not subject to recall. You can stay in the courtroom or free to leave. Thank you. Next one.
Next one, Judge, is Jeanette Coronado. Jeanette Coronado?
Right, Cindy? Yeah, he's not dangerous. He just pulls out a weapon and fires it 11 times into a moving vehicle that permeates her 5 times and leaves her with little holes.
Good afternoon, turn over to his right hand, please. You do solemnly swear the evidence and the testimony given in the call will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Have a seat over here. Thank you.
I believe they said that what her name was. Oh, she's pretty.
Okay, thank you.
She's pretty.
Ms. Coronado, can you please give us your full name?
Señora Coronado, diga su nombre completo.
Janet Alvarado.
You can speak a little English, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you feel more comfortable in Spanish?
¿Se siente más a gusto usted en español?
Yes.
Can I ask you, how long have you known Billy?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva usted conociendo a Billy?
Llevo de conocerlo aproximadamente 23 años.
I've been known him for approximately 23 years.
And what would be the reason that you know him?
¿Cuál es la razón por la cual lo conoce?
La mamá de él es mi amiga.
His mom is my friend.
And so you've known him for 23 years. So I guess he's 30 something. You saw him actually grow up to be a man, right?
Sí.
Entonces, si tiene 23 años de conocerla, él hace como 30, ya tiene como más de 30, entonces usted prácticamente lo vio crecer.
Sí.
Yes.
Did she ever exhibit behavior like he's been accused of here?
¿Alguna vez él mostró algún comportamiento como el que se está escuchando aquí hoy?
No, nunca.
No, never.
Do you trust him around your children?
Claro que sí.
¿Usted se siente a gusto con él en presente de sus hijos?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
Okay. Do you work for Ms. Delgado?
¿Usted trabaja para el señor Delgado?
Sí.
Yes.
And how long have you worked for?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva trabajando con ella?
Ya 9 años.
Almost 9 years.
Antes de eso trabajé con ella en el 2003,
Before I worked with her in 2003,
donde ella era mi gerente. Ella era la branch manager.
where she was the branch manager.
Did you ever have an opportunity to meet Erica Torres?
¿Usted tuvo la oportunidad de conocer a Erica Torres?
Sí.
Yes.
And how was that you met her?
¿Cómo fue que la conocí?
Por Billy. Por Billy, porque era la novia de Billy.
Through Billy, because she was Billy's girlfriend.
Okay. Did she ever work same place you were working at?
¿Trabajó ella en el mismo lugar donde usted trabajaba?
Aplicó para trabajar conmigo, pero no trabajó. No.
She applied to work with us, but she didn't work.
Have you ever had any conversations with her?
¿Ha tenido usted conversaciones con ella?
Sí.
Yes.
And when was this?
¿Cuándo fue eso?
Aproximadamente tuve una conversación en la cual me gustaría expresarla. Fue el año pasado, antes de que pasara todo esto, en la oficina. Ella fue a recoger un cheque y durante la plática yo le comenté, Billy se había ido fuera de la ciudad y yo le comenté que sí estaba triste porque se había ido. Y ella me...
I did have a conversation with her. This was about last year. Before, she went to the office to pick up a check, and I had a conversation with her. And because Billy had left, I asked her if she was sad because he had left.
Objection to hearsay.
So,
So you had a conversation where you discussed Mr. Delgado leaving?
Tuvieron una conversación donde el señor Delgado se había ido.
Objection to hearsay.
Did Erica ever go and talk to you in person?
Objection to hearsay.
so yes or no? Overall.
Erika fue a hablar con usted en persona.
Sí, es como me comentó de
Objection to
que...
hearsay, Your Honor.
Judge, she hasn't responded yet. How can it be
You're saying
hearsay?
yes, and she's saying that she's gonna say it in Spanish, Judge. I can understand it. She's saying that she's
So it's a
calling.
yes or no. Just talk to her. She said yes. So
He says, I understand Spanish. I know what she's going to say.
Ms. Coronado, did Erica exhibit any type of aggressive behavior around you?
Señora Coronado, la señora Erika en un momento demostró algún comportamiento agresivo.
Una vez me comentó de que...
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
Did you ever see any aggressive behavior, or just she told you about it?
¿Usted vio comportamiento agresivo o ella le dijo de este?
Ella me dijo.
Objection to hearsay.
Okay, ma'am, what I'd like for you to do
Lo que quiero que
is
usted haga
not repeat anything
es que no repita
that someone else said
nada que
to
alguien
you,
más haya dicho.
Okay.
unless I tell you it's okay. Understood?
A menos que
Yes.
yo le diga que está bien entendido.
Let's proceed.
During the 23 years that you've known Billy, have you spent a lot of time around him?
Cuando en los 23 años que usted conoció a Billy, ¿usted pasaba tiempo cerca de ella?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you know him to be a very respectful man?
¿Usted conoce que él es un hombre muy respetable?
Sí.
You
Yes.
know him to be a very peaceful man?
¿Que es
Sí.
un hombre muy pacífico?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had any issues where he becomes aggressive toward somebody that you know or yourself?
¿Alguna vez él ha sido muy agresivo con alguien que usted conoce o con usted?
No, para nada.
No, nothing.
Have you seen him interact with his children?
¿Alguna vez lo ha visto interactuar con sus niños?
Sí.
Yes.
And what's your opinion on how he interacts with his children?
¿Cuál es su opinión? ¿Cómo interactúa con ellos?
Es muy cariñoso, responsable, cuidadoso. Excelente padre.
He takes care of them. He's very responsible.
Have you seen Erica interact with her child, Esmeralda?
¿Ha visto usted a Erika interactuar con su hija Esmeralda?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Does she act in a normal fashion around the times that you've seen her?
Las veces que usted la ha visto, ella se comporta de una manera normal.
Descuidada como madre.
Careless as a mom.
Okay. Ma'am, if Billy's sentenced to prison and once he's released, are you going to help him get back, try to help him reintegrate into society?
Si a Billy entra a la cárcel y ahí lo dejan en libertad, ¿usted lo va a ayudar a tratar de que él se reintegre en la sociedad?
Tiene todo mi apoyo.
He has all my support.
Okay. So it's not going to bother you or you won't be scared if he becomes your neighbor. He's a convicted felon now, right? He's going to lose a lot of his rights. And he lives next to you. Are you going to be scared of a convicted felon coming out of prison living next to you? It's Billy Delgado.
¿No le va a molestar que el señor Billy Delgado va a ser una persona que haya estado como hombre condenado y vaya a estar viviendo enseguida de usted, que va a perder todos sus derechos?
No, incluso está mi casa para que viva.
No, in fact, he has my house to live.
That's all I have this witness, Judge.
Can I proceed, Your Honor?
Please.
Ms. Alvarado, do you believe that Billy Delgado shooting Erica Torres 10 times on June 1st, 2024 was a dangerous act?
Señora Alvarado, ¿usted cree que el hecho de que el señor Billy Delgado haya disparado a Erika 10 veces el día 1 de junio de 2024 fue un acto bueno?
Como mamá no sé qué acción, cómo yo respondería al decirme que uno de mis hijos fue dañado así. Y no fue la primera vez, o sea, no era la primera vez.
As a mom, I would not know how to answer if this was not the first time.
So this is not the first time he's fired a weapon at somebody?
Esta no es la primera vez que él le dispara a alguien.
No era la primera vez que escuchábamos que la niña había sido dañada.
It was not the first time that we heard that the child had been hurt.
I'm going to object to non-responsive, Your Honor. That wasn't the question I asked. But I'm going to ask you again, Ms. Alvarado, do you believe that the actions of Billy Delgado shooting Erica Torres 10 times on the date of June 1st, 2024 was a dangerous act? Do you believe that it was dangerous, yes or no?
Le voy a hacer la pregunta nuevamente. ¿Usted cree que las acciones del señor Billy Delgado el día 1 de junio es una acción peligrosa? ¿Sí o no?
Peligrosa no es. Peligrosa lo es. En parte, como mamá lo vuelvo a repetir.
It's a yes or no question.
Es una pregunta de un sí o un no.
No. Sí fue.
Objection, Your Honor, to non-responsive.
¿Cuál es la pregunta?
What is the question?
¿Sí fue peligrosa?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. I'm not asking a question. She's testifying. She's already answered that it wasn't dangerous.
Hold on for another question, please.
Espera que se le haga otra
Do you have
pregunta.
another question?
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the prosecutor didn't let you answer the question. Can I ask it again for you, please? Okay, he wants to know if shooting Erica was a dangerous
It was.
act.
Yes.
Yes,
it
sir.
was.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. They seem to be concentrating on trying to either have people say it's not dangerous, but you understand shooting someone's dangerous, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that is not in conformity to Billy's character. That's all I have, Judge.
Your question?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you can step down and answer the recall. You're free to leave. or
Puede
stand.
bajarse esa paella, ¿no? Puede quedarse.
Alicia Flores, please.
Yes. Yes, ma'am, you were previously sworn in the case. You're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
You may proceed.
Ms. Flores, can you please give us your full name again?
Vanessa Flores?
You are Billy's aunt, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so you've known him all his life?
yes,
You saw him grow up?
I did. I
Turn
grew
into
up
a
with
man?
him.
Okay. You've helped out in
Yes.
raising him, I guess?
Yes, I was 8 when he was born, so I remember meeting him for the first time. We grew up together, and then I became an adult and understood the role of an aunt and took it on from there, and helped whenever I could to guide him, love him, protect him, be by his side.
So that, actually, he could have been like a little brother.
Yes,
And, you know about this case, and you've already testified, you've seen the, I don't know if you've seen the photos or not. It's a serious case. You've known Mr. Delgado for a long time. Is this what Billy's about?
no,
Does he act in conformity to what, like this, shooting people?
no.
You helped out also whenever his children needed daycare stuff, you took care of them?
I did whenever they needed help. If one of them was working or they wanted to go out, the girls would come over to my house.
Okay. And there was multiple times where you arrived at the scene after they had an altercation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and what was your role in that? What did you do to help out?
I think I would be called to kind of help, calm the situation, talk to either Erica or Billy, depending on what was going on, kind of, just see what the situation was and how I could help either Billy, Erica, or the girls.
Okay. And at times you have to take care of the kids and bring them home? Or-
Yes.
Or Billy, or
Yes.
the jury's sitting over there, they're gonna determine, how many years Billy goes to prison, okay? Once Billy's released, are you gonna participate and try to help him get back integrated to society?
Absolutely. I will always be there for my nephew.
Okay, but he's been convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The state's trying to make him out to be a very dangerous person. Are you going to be okay if he lives with you, or if he lives with you next to you?
I would, absolutely. Actually, he was out on bond and he stayed at my house for, part of the time that he was out.
Oh, so he was with you.
My doors will always be open. Billy, to me, is not a dangerous individual. If anything, he's the opposite. He's always been a loving kid, a loving man, a family man, loves hanging out with the family.
We do realize she just said he was living with her when he was out on bond. Okay, ma'am. Then you were so responsible at that time? Why didn't he show up to his court hearing, and why did they have to put a warrant out for his arrest? Just a question. Ponder that thought.
Of course, things changed when he got with Erica, and I feel like they removed themselves a little from coming around family. But prior to that, he was all about hanging out and just having a good time, and always wanting to be around us and just loving. I've never known Billy to want to hurt someone. I've never seen him harm anyone. I mean, you can ask anyone who's grown up with him or been around him. You can ask my best friends who have known him for.
Ma'am, it's on video. He never wanted to harm anyone, blah, 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 blah. It's on video.
Long as, Billy's, they've been around my life, which has been a long time, and they consider him their own nephews too. And I know that they would help him into society as well. I've always seen him with a heart of gold. I'm not just saying this today. I've said it many times to people. Billy's always checked in on family. When he comes over to my house, yeah, how can I help you? What do you need fixing? Do you want me to mow your yard for you? You need any light bulbs changed? The simple things. Mm-hmm. He's always been a loving kid and man, and I love him to death, and I would do anything for him, and I would help him get back into society. And I do plan to help him, and I'm sure he will look for me when it's time. And I will be there alongside his mom and my other family members to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. I know that he loved Erica, and I know that he would never want to harm Erica. She is the mother of his children, whom my family loves very much. And we took Erica in. We loved her, and we were all good to her. We helped her, even when they would fight, even when she would.
No objection there,
Okay, go ahead and describe about taking care of Erica.
If they ever had a disagreement and Erica called me, I answered the phone and I was there for her. if she just needed to vent. I mean, I never thought that their relationship was healthy, and I was honest with both of them about it. I told them many times, you guys need to leave each other. This is not healthy, and my nieces are growing up in that house and they're watching this. I don't ever want them to think that it is okay for someone to lay their hands on someone that they say that they love.
Okay.
That is not right. I don't want those little girls to think that that is normal, because it is not.
You've taken care of both Mr. Delgado's son and his daughter, right? Have you taken care of the kids?
Yes, Izzy, Bella, and Emmy.
And Emmy. Since this incident happened, have you seen Emmy?
It's going to be about a year. I have seen her since. The last time I saw her was on her birthday weekend. She was able to go to San Antonio and we celebrated her, and that's been the last time that we've seen her.
When was that?
September, probably the second weekend of September.
Okay, so we're in July.
Yeah, it's going on a year.
Almost a year. Okay. Have you seen his son?
Izzy, yes, I see him as often as I can. He lives in Burleson, but when he has games or birthdays, we're there.
Okay. Will you help him? I know if he comes out, he's not gonna have a whole lot of money. You'll probably have some, opportunity to get an education in prison and stuff, but will you help him find a job?
Absolutely. He has my house till he can get on his feet.
Okay.
He has a welding certificate, so, I know he can go look for a job. He will obviously have a record, so it might be a little difficult, but we will be there to see him get on his feet, because I know he's not a harm to society, and I know that he can contribute to society.
All right, thank you. That's all we have, Judge.
Thank you.
I think the state may have some questions.
They may have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Is Ms. Flores?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Flores, do you believe that Billy's acts against Erica Torres, on that, you testified earlier that he's not a dangerous individual, but you would agree with me that on the date of June 1st, 2024, he was a dangerous individual?
Yes.
You testified that he's not a harm to society, right?
Right.
You would agree with me that on the date of June 1st, 2024, shooting a live firearm in a residential area in a neighborhood poses a danger to society, correct?
Yes, sir, but I also believe that.
It's a yes or no.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness.
Amy, the prosecutor cut you off. What's your belief?
I don't believe that this defines Billy. I know he had a lapse in judgment, and it was a serious one. I'm thankful, and we prayed that Erica made it through for the sake of her family and my nieces. But I don't believe that this defines him. I believe that he deserves a second chance to come out into society and contribute and be there for his daughters and his son.
Okay.
And with time, I hope gets forgiveness at some point. I know it's not easy.
Yes, ma'am. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you.
Your next one is
It would be Miss Vanessa Flores, Judge.
Vanessa Flores.
that.
Yeah, that.
You just solemnly swear the evidence of the testimony given the cause will be the truth, so help you God.
Right, Cindy said, but we'll see him in a few years on a parole hearing.
Okay.
That's his mom. They muted. Why did they mute? That's not his mom. We saw his mom yesterday. That's not his mom.
Ma'am, can you please give us your full name?
Vanessa Flores.
Vanessa, and how are you related to Mr. Delgado?
I'm his aunt.
Aunt? And where do you live?
Right now I live in San Antonio.
Okay, you lived in Laredo before?
Yes, practically my whole life.
You watched Billy grow up?
I was 9 years old when he was born.
So again, just like your sister, you basically were like, he could have been your brother.
Correct.
Okay. And during the time that he was growing up, do you ever exhibit behavior like this?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you ever have any good times with him and his children?
Yes.
Okay. Did he work? Did he play with his children?
always tried to keep them entertained.
Okay. Did he do what a normal father does? He protects them, provides for them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You always saw him enjoy their company?
Yes.
Well, Billy now is looking at potentially, could be a long prison sentence, and the jury's sitting right there. They're the ones that determine. When he comes out, he'll be a convicted felon, won't be able to legally possess a firearm. You won't be able to hold certain jobs. He'll always carry that mark on him, but he'll be a felon for the rest of his life. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Knowing all that, will that keep you, prevent you from helping Billy in any way?
No.
Okay. Will you help him get a job, get a place to live? Will you help him do that?
Yes.
Even if he lives with you in San Antonio, but better than returning to Laredo, right?
Correct.
Okay. In the meantime, will you help his children if they become available for you to visit?
Of course. Always.
And right now, they haven't attempted to see. Have you attempted to see Amy?
We've always wanted to see Amy, but it's going to be a year that we haven't been able to have the rights to see her.
Okay. There's a lot of ways to help Mr. Delgado. You can help him find a job when he gets out. You can help him, encourage him to get some counseling, things like that. Are you willing to do all that for him?
That and more.
Billy will need a lot of help when he gets out. You agree with me?
Correct.
Okay. And during this time that you saw him grow up, did you ever think something like this would ever happen?
Never.
Okay. I mean, this is a dangerous event, right?
Correct.
Okay. Has Billy ever held a grudge where he hates somebody and always doesn't forgive them for things they've done against him?
Never.
Did he change when he started dating Erica?
Yes.
He wasn't the same person?
No, sir.
Okay, so whatever happened in that relationship, it changed him.
Correct.
And what kind of unusual behaviors did you notice in him, if you could tell us?
Separating himself from the family.
That was one of them?
Yes.
Anything else?
I wouldn't get those phone calls or those texts with the heart emoji saying, "I love you, punk. How you been, Tia? Do you need anything? Are my cousins okay?" Basic family things that he would call and text.
And you miss all that?
I miss him. I miss it every day.
Okay. Well, he's not going to be able to do that for quite some time. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you hope to be reunited and do that again.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have at this witness, Judge.
No questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, then you can step
Yeah,
down and
she
you can see
was-
the courtroom. You're free to go. Thank you.
She was a lot emotional for it just to be a nephew.
Judge, I'm going to call Miss Connie Delgado.
Oh, I think this is his mom. I think Connie is his mom.
Wait, I've seen, ma'am, she was previously sworn, still under oath.
Yeah, this is Connie Delgado, his mother. Why did it do that? Oh, I hate it when they do this shit. Sorry. Let me get back over there. Damn it. Where the hell were they? Right here. She just finished and Connie was getting on stand. You know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. I see this happen to a lot of creators and they get freaked out, but I understand what it is. Because when Court TV finishes their thing, they go back in and they put the chapters in. And when they put the chapters in, it automatically refreshes the feed. And it refreshed with chapters. But it helps because now I was able to go back and hit when Miss Delgado sits down. So it's helpful. It's kind of shocking and alarming if you don't know what's going on. So, yeah, here we go.
Ms. Delgado, can you please give us your name?
My name is Maria Concepcion Delgado.
And you are Billy's mom?
Yes, sir.
You know a lot about this relationship between Erica and your son.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were present after some of these assaults occurred, correct?
Every single one.
You would have to show up and kind of keep the peace and divide them or whatever you had to do, right?
We did. Her family wasn't around.
Okay. And it was, how many times do you think it was?
Of her putting her hands on my son?
Yes.
I can't count them.
Okay. How many times do you think the police showed up?
More than 2 handfuls, more than 10 times.
A lot of times your son didn't want to go through with pressing charges, right?
Correct.
Okay. And your son, before this relationship and during the relationship, did his character change or his personality?
Yes, sir, it did.
Can you tell us what exactly?
I couldn't understand why my son distanced himself from his family. We are a very close family. And Miss Erica's a narcissist. She can make you believe what she wants you to believe, but she wants you to imagine that she is the one that doesn't do anything. And as a mother, I have 3 boys, and I'd be damned if my boys lay a hand on their girl.
So
They were raised very, very well-mannered.
So this is very upsetting for you because your son did actually a little bit worse than laying hands. He shot a woman, right?
My son that is a parent now, and when a parent hears that the child has been injured or hurt, in the sense of my granddaughter, their response could be driven by instinct, love, or protection.
Right. And the child's actually made an outcry to more than one person, right?
Correct.
But there's going to be justice for Erica, but there never may be justice for Annie, right?
There's never been justice for my son. We have gotten law enforcement involved, and things just lay on people's desks around here, Laredo. And she's told me, with her own words, her family will get her out of anything.
Okay. Well, she's already done, I think, 6 hours, 6 times, 36 hours already in the holding tank. She's felt she's already paid for errors. Your son's going to be asked to do more than 36 hours. Okay? And that's going to be a difficult situation for you and your family, ma'am. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Are you going to encourage him to get counseling?
As a mom, I know she's upset. And even though she thinks I didn't raise my kid this way, kids go out and do their own damn thing. Kids will go out and do their own thing. So the fact that, yeah, he may not have hit her, so they keep saying, but he pulled the trigger more than once. So mom needs to wake up. I'm not happy with this mom. I mean, I understand it's her child, but
To get an education while he's in prison?
My son's thoughts in there have been disgusted, and he will continue his education and come out to be the voice of domestic violence for men.
Okay. Will you help him once he's released?
y'all, did you hear? Oh, I got shut. Get the fuck out of here. Did you just hear what she just said? I had to rewind. I'm sorry. He's going to come out and fight against domestic violence towards men. Okay.
My son's thoughts in there have been disgusted, and he will continue his education and come out to be the voice of domestic violence for men.
Okay. Will you help him once he's released?
I definitely will.
Get the fuck out.
He's got all my support.
Okay. Go out and find a job, get a place to live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I know you want to express your rage, but the jury's already made a decision.
Correct.
Okay. Now they're just contemplating how many years they want to send him to prison. Okay. If they send him to prison for a very long time, he will lose his ability to be a parent to his daughter and his son. Will you agree to help his daughter and son?
Most definitely.
Okay.
My granddaughter has been taken from me. Miss Erica did not raise her daughter for the first 3 months of that little girl's life.
Who did?
I did, and my father and my husband. She lived with us for the first 4 months of her life because she is not a good mom.
Where was Erica during that time?
In Dallas, dealing with her emotions.
Okay. Well, she showed a lot of emotions here in trial. Um, They're going to be asking for the jury to sentence your son to prison. Would you like for your son to come out and be able to try to get back into society and get whatever normal life you can?
Yes, sir.
You still want him to have an opportunity to be able to raise his son and daughter?
Her son and daughter. I don't think that anybody deserves the right to be taking their daughter away from them when they've caused no harm to their child.
Well, he's already been.
That man loves his little girl. She is his life, just like her son.
I think she's in a novella. I think she's reading a novella. And Hannah and Maria, y'all ready? Stay alive. Stay alive. I'm sorry, I really did Heimlich maneuver. You solely, totally butchered that, Hannah, but it's okay. I can read typo. It's called Heimlich maneuver. Heimlich. Okay, I'm sorry. This lady has got me off the rails right now. She's lost her marbles. She's an upset mom. Back to mom.
They are his life. He is a great man.
Objection to narrative, Your Honor. No question asked.
Ms. Coronado, I mean, your son's already been punished. They were able to obtain a divorce without Erica being present.
Correct.
They were able to obtain protective order lifetime from Emmy.
Protective order against Emmy.
Okay.
Without any presence.
And right now, as a grandparent, you don't have a visitation with your granddaughter, right?
I don't. His grandma asked me to please not come around, or she would charge me with harassment.
Okay. So that means you'd have to file your own lawsuit, try to get grandparent access.
And I will.
I mean, that's your intention, is try to get some access to your grandchild.
Correct.
Why?
I will go to any extreme to get access to my granddaughter.
Because they already felt it necessary to make sure that he never sees.
How can you hurt a little girl? How can you hurt a little girl's heart and take her away?
When an objection is made, if you'll.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I'll sustain the objection if you'll ask another question.
Yes. Man, how do you intend to overcome this? Your son's already prohibited from ever seeing his daughter.
Objection as to relevance.
We cry every day for my little girl, and they know how much she means to us. And how? Forget about us and our feelings. How can you do that to my granddaughter, knowing that we are her life and she loves us dearly? How? If you don't care for a toddler's heart and feelings, how human can you be? Just as unhuman as my son was that day.
Well, they're using that child as a tool.
They always have.
And you compare it to what Billy did that day. Is it that bad?
No, but we knew it was coming. The family fights with each other. The family has a lot of quarrels with each other. The family has a lot of issues with each other. And obviously they don't care to give my granddaughter at least some peace and let her be involved with Billy's family. My husband cries for that little girl every day.
Objection as to narrative.
Does your husband cry for your daughter every day?
Every day. He gets ill every day. And when they hear me say this in the stand today, they know what I mean. That man and that little girl were inseparable. Erica's family never helped her to take care of that little girl. That little girl lived in Laredo.
Object as his narrative, Your Honor.
Where did the little girl live in?
When she lived here in Laredo, that Erica moved over here and brought her over here. That little girl would be sent to Laredo almost every 10 days so that we can care for her. Over 15 days she'd stay with us because her mother couldn't help her care for her. But now all of a sudden she's got a whole family that can help her care for her.
So you and your husband were the one taking care of this child.
Correct. Financially and taking care of her. That little girl lived in San Antonio 5 years of her life, practically all the time with or without her mom and dad.
All right, man. That's all we have, Judge.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
You step down, ma'am. You are welcome to stay in the courtroom.
Thank you.
Nope, don't need anybody like this in
That's
my
all we have,
life.
Judge.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the jury, both sides have rested and closed their evidence on punishment phase. We're going to take a short recess for the afternoon, and we'll bring you back in. Should have the charge ready at that point. So take 15 minutes. Remember my instructions. We'll see you in 15. Thank you.
All right, for the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I
Fast forward to the charge. I'm not sure what happens here. Charge of punishment phase, and then we do a closing argument for each of them again, and then we get to the punishing verdict. So we have probably about hour and a half left, maybe. This judge doing a lot. I don't know what the judge is doing. The judge is just, yeah, they do. It really sounded like a threat. She's all like, "Oh, he'll do, anything, or she'll do anything." Yeah, but that's should go to any extreme. But what her son went to a complete off the wall extreme. So let's not talk about extremes, Mama. I'm gonna hit play on this where the judge is gonna start talking, and you have to pee and smoke. You know what? I need to take me just a couple minutes too. So I'm gonna take my phone with me though. I'm gonna hit play and I'm gonna go do a couple of things real quick. But I'm gonna turn the camera off so I can. But we'll be right back. Let's look real quick. Let me do a double check on that. Court TV is on break, and at the last count, it was 13 hours and about 11 minutes is where the jury clock is with them. So yeah, Washington versus Ali. Ali is 13 hours and 10 minutes right now. So yeah, they're probably going home soon, I would hope. I mean, it's almost 6 o'clock my time, so that would be 4 p.m. in Washington. But I don't know. I think they might stay till 4. I think the judge said they can stay till 4:30. So, they might got 30 more minutes. So I'm gonna hit play and I'm gonna go do my own little break real quick with my phone.
I said both sides have rested and closed their evidence on the punishment phase of the trial. We have the final charge. I'm going to read it to you. Once again, you'll have it in the jury room to consult, and you'll have any evidence that was introduced in the punishment phase, as well as all of the evidence that was introduced in the first phase of the trial. Cause number 2025 CRG 0000717D2, the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado, charge of the court on punishment. Members of the jury, the defendant, Billy Delgado, has been found guilty of the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury to a member of the defendant's family, as alleged in the indictment. It is necessary that the jury assess the punishment for this offense. You are instructed that the punishment for committing the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury to a member of the defendant's family is confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Institutional Division for life, or for any term of not more than 99 years or less than 5 years. Therefore, you will assess the punishment of the defendant at life or any term of not more than 99 years or less than 5 years. In addition to imprisonment, an individual found guilty of this offense may be punished by a fine not to exceed $10,000. And if you so choose to assess such a fine in addition to imprisonment, you will assess such fine and so state in your verdict. If you assess a fine, it will not be paid to the victim or victims, if any, but it is paid into the registry of the court. The defendant in this case has applied on written sworn motion for community supervision, stating, among other things, that he has never been convicted of a felony in this or any other state. Our statutes provide that where a defendant is found guilty of the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury to a member of the defendant's family, and the jury assesses the punishment at not more than 10 years, and they further find that the defendant has never been convicted of a felony in this or any other state, the jury may, within its discretion, recommend community supervision during the good behavior of the defendant. If the jury does recommend community supervision, it will be granted by the court. You are instructed that the defendant may testify on his own behalf if he chooses to do so, but if he elects not to do so, that fact cannot be taken by you as a circumstance against him, nor prejudice him in any way. The defendant has elected not to testify in the punishment phase of the trial, and you are instructed that you cannot and must not refer to or allude to that fact throughout your deliberations or take it into consideration for any purpose whatsoever. In your deliberations, you may consider evidence introduced during the guilt phase of the trial, as well as any evidence introduced at the punishment phase of the trial. Under the instructions herein given, it will not be proper for you in determining the penalty to be assessed to fix the same by lot, chance, any system of averages, or any other method than a full, fair, and free exercise of the opinion of the individual jurors under the evidence submitted before you. The length of time for which a defendant is in prison may be reduced by the award of parole. Under the law that applies in this case, the defendant will not become eligible for parole until the actual time served equals 1/2 of the sentence imposed, or 30 years, whichever is less. Eligibility for parole does not guarantee that parole will be granted. It cannot accurately be predicted how the parole law might be applied to this defendant because the application of that law will depend upon decisions made by parole authorities. You may consider the existence of the parole law but you are not to consider the manner in which the parole law may be applied to this particular defendant. A suitable form is attached for your verdict if you should care to use the same. However, such form is not intended to influence you in any way in arriving at your verdict. In any event, your verdict must be unanimous and signed by your presiding juror. Respectfully submitted, Sid Harrell, presiding judge. Jury form is a little more complicated, ladies and gentlemen, because you have several choices. You have the choice of assessing a term in the penitentiary, no fine. You can add a fine. You can determine if the sentence is less than 10 years, all of the provisions, including probation. So read carefully the verdict form and make sure it is signed correctly, reflecting the unanimous verdict of the jury. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, both sides have requested 40 minutes if they wish to use the same to argue the case. State once again has the opportunity to open and close. You may proceed.
May I be support? Counsel? Ladies and gentlemen, who you sentence? Who's at trial here? Is it that man right there? Right here sitting on this stool? Or is it that woman right there, Erica Torres? Literally, who do we sentence? Because according to the defense, it sounds like Erica Torres is a defendant and Billy Delgado is a victim. What do we hear through these witnesses? And not just these witnesses, but the witnesses, the evidence that came through guilt or innocence, that she's a bad mother. We heard it from his own mother, Connie Delgado, that she has criminal history. All I saw was mud being thrown one way. Their side to Erica. Did Erica do that? No. She took the stand. She owned up to everything she did. She took her responsibility. So really, who's at trial here? The state of Texas versus Erica Torres? Or is it the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado? Now, I want to talk about a timeline because I think it's very important. The timeline, it pertains to the guilt or innocence phase, but I think it's very important that I talk about it because it goes to show that what he did, what was the reason why he did what he did. And I think it's something that's aggravating that you can consider as evidence for punishment. As my colleague, Mr. Flores, said, you can consider evidence that was presented to you in this case and in the last case. Let's go over that time. On May 19, Erica tells Billy that Billy tells Erica that it's going to be her last birthday. Kayla de la Cruz confirms this. On May 31st, at night, Eddie tells Billy Delgado about an alleged sexual abuse, which was found to have no merit. Billy doesn't call Erica to confront her. Billy doesn't call the cops. Billy doesn't even tell his roommate Sharon. He doesn't even go to look for Uncle Louie. By this point, on June 1st, we know that Erica is out socializing, having fun. There's testimony where she was having fun, socializing, having brunch. Erica testified that whenever she leaves Billy, Billy turns violent. He doesn't like that. Sharon, the style of the roommate, testifies that he is happy baking pancakes and he's calm. Erica testified that she was at brunch, socializing, moving on with her life. By this point, she had already asked for divorce. While in brunch, she gets a call from Billy. Hey, come pick up daughter. And she takes off. And that's when she's mowed down by a 9mm. Now, I ask, why is this important? Defense made it seem that it was because of this rape, this sexual assault, that there was no merit to it. No. The truth is, it was because of power and control. He didn't like it. Billy didn't like it when Erica would leave him. That's what that was. That's what this timeline is. It shows power and control that Billy has over Erica. Again, she was socializing. He could have waited until Sunday for Erica to pick up Andy. He could have just waited one day and talked with her. No. He didn't like that he was having brunch with her. He was out with friends. She was out with friends. No. Let me call her on Saturday. Let me bring her over. Which goes with the trap, the ambush that was said. I think that's very important and something that should be considered as an aggravating factor when it comes to sentencing. Now, you saw it for yourself. Power control. You saw it for yourself. When he took the stand and Mr. Summer was questioning him, look how he was acting. When he was in that interview room with investigator Vela, look how he was acting. Power, control. Now imagine the times that we haven't seen him or when we don't see him. Now, Billy Delgado, that's mommy, that's his mom. She's willing to do anything for her son. But ladies and gentlemen, she's an enabler. She condones it. Remember the jail call? A mother can't defend against certain things. Yet, here at trial, she's justifying her son's actions. And mind you, this is when she took the stand and she said, oh, she's a bad mother. She didn't even have her kids for the first 4 months. Would a bad mother still allow access to her grandpa, access to her grandchild for 10 days of the month? She's also inconsistent. On June 1st, she testified that Uncle Louis wouldn't do something like that. Yet at trial, for the first time, it came out, for her son's defense, it came out about this underwear, that there was mucus on the underwear. This story came out. Okay, well, what did you do? Did you follow it up? Did you go to the cops? Did you do anything? No, she didn't. No, she came up with this story for the first time right here to defend her baby boy, Billy Delgado. And again, she takes the stand. What does she talk about? She made about Ed and how Erica and her family treated her. How Erica's family did worse things. How Erica's a bad mother. How Erica wasn't in Emmy's life for the first 4 months. She never held Billy accountable for his actions. And if we recall the jail call, ladies and gentlemen, you need to want to help yourself so that we can help you, Billy. The way she's condoning and enabling him, she goes out there, yes, I'm going to be here to help him if he gets out. I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. So you need to focus. The defense, again, they're trying to shift the focus from what we have been saying. Billy made a choice. There are consequences to those choices. You must sentence him in accordance for that choice he made, for the consequences that he had on that woman right there and on the community that he put in danger. Now, I heard a statement that the state is making him look like a dangerous person. No, I think he did that pretty well himself. Firing 10 shots at an individual who did not see it coming in an ambush. The state is not making him look like a dangerous person, ladies and gentlemen. The state just wants to show that a choice was made which has consequences. You've held him accountable for those consequences, but now you need to sentence him. One, as Mr. Flores said, that keeps in mind the safety of the victim, of Erica Torres, of the community, of people like Ms. Sylvia Navarro, and to deter this from happening again in our community. And Judge, I yield the rest of my time to Mr. Soto. Thank you.
Police Court, Post Council. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard some wild, ridiculous accusations here today. Okay? Yelling and screaming, trying to make it like the harder you yell, stronger. That's still more correct, right, than anybody else. Attacking Heinz mother. Okay? If you didn't do anything, I should just hear, tell you about your son, how much you love your son. You're the ones that sent him. You be deprived her of ever seeing your son. Okay? So it's serious. And that's what she was trying to tell you up there. It's young lady. Just totally disregard the love of the mother for the son. Maybe they confessed, whatever kind of relationship that Erica had with her son. They did the best to help them. They tried to help them. So for the kids, they don't know what you want. Right? They said that Billy's dangerous. One day out of his life, okay, 1 5-minute section. And you're going to ask them for the rest of your life. For his life. Okay? I'm trying to put this to show you that's not him. That's not him. How do you get there? Okay, I read all the sequences where she was arrested. And she said, I already paid my price. Okay? By the 6 hours, she didn't hold us on release. Did we ever find out what happened? Everything's pending. We can't talk about it. This is pending. I would say. Pending. Everything's pending for her. For Billy Delgado, the only thing that's pending is you. You said choices and consequences, right? He made choices. What are the consequences? Nothing. See the disparity? See how he becomes upset? Now, everything just got to that pinnacle. She made choices, and there's no consequences. He makes choices, there's consequences. That's how we got here. Okay, that level of frustration. That somebody else gets to do something, nothing happens to them. He sees his child getting injured, and he just goes up. That's not him. Okay, he's trying to protect his daughter in a way that maybe he should have done it. Right? And he injured somebody, he regrets it, he tells you he's remorseful, and he wouldn't do that. You have children, Somebody's injuring your child, and you feel helpless. How can you do something out of the ordinary? Okay? That's what you do. And these gentlemen here are trying to condemn him. Okay, he's found guilty of the aggravated assault. We'll carry that for the rest of his life. That's a felony conviction. Okay? Their job are not able to, but they're all done. The range of punishment is probation for life in prison. I'm here to tell you, probation is very hard. You can't judge the sentence to use system, but probation is kind of can't visualize. But it's very hard. You come out 31 times for a long cigarette. You got sent to prison. DWI. You know, nobody gets hurt, just you, cop pulls you over. For him, he gets to prison. Okay? Anything he violates the law, he goes to prison. It's very hard to judge him with the counsel. Class, the drug class, we're also okay. Right, in this case, I asked questions about the severity of the offense. Would that drive the sentence higher? Oh, a lot of you said no, it just depends on the whole entire set of facts. I asked about second chances. Okay, most of you raise your hand, you're ready for a second chance. I asked if you were full punishment or rehab. I think that was, we had majority said rehabilitation. Okay, those are a few extremes that said no, I'm not punished. Right? I think this case depends on what to do, a wide range. I would be back there. Listen, what's important to you? What drives the sentence? Okay. Is it back criminal history? Is that going to drive the sentence up or down? Is it the abuse that he took? Is that going to drive the sentence up or down? Is it the injury to Erica? Is that going to drive the sentence up or down? I don't know. Okay, but I'm here to tell you that in order to appease the Torres family, I would suggest that you sentence Delgado to at least 5 years for him. Okay, we'll be able to get back out to society. We'll be able to see his kids. You'll be able to get his education, get training, come back out and try to keep him alive. Okay, you have all the evidence before you heard witnesses. Saw how Delgado was in his family, how his life changed, how he takes care of his kids. I was a good person. Okay. That was your time, and you completely change what they want you to do. Okay, so more pushing, urging punishment for that one incident and the severity of this incident, right? But it doesn't match up to Billy's life. It doesn't. Okay, he lived a normal life, takes care of his kids, his family, loves his family. He said he always was doing what he can involved in. I suggest the majority of us is given a second chance. Erica's been arrested 6 times, she's got a second chance, more than 2 times. That's 6 chances. All right? We're just asking. We don't know today. All right? Yeah, as a fellow family, we thank you for listening to the case.
Okay. That's all we have to say. And here comes Mr. Emotional. He gonna get up here and knock it out the park. It's okay. Ooh, he's got presentation. He got a bag. He's got stuff he's gonna show. It was the one. He's the second one that gets up.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He's good. He's good. We like
We
him.
heard a lot of testimony. We heard from the witnesses. A lot of Mr. Delgado's family, right? A lot of friends. And I understand it's hard. It's difficult to take the stand and testify. And they testified as to that he's a good person, that he's a great dad, he's been there for his family. And I'm sure at one point Mr. Delgado was. I'm sure he was. In fact, you even had someone come here and testify and say that they believe shooting a person 10 times wasn't dangerous. That's how much they like Billy Delgado. As preposterous as that sounds. But somewhere along the way, Mr. Delgado changed. Billy changed, and he is not that person that they're talking about. Mr. Delgado changed, and you saw the real person he was. And like Erica told you, he puts up a front, he puts up a character. Well, on the date of June 1st, 2024, he pulled back the curtain, and he showed the public, he showed the real world who the real Billy Delgado is. Now, defense came up here and they told you they're asking for a 5-year minimum. 5-year minimum. And we talked about this in Ward Hire. I asked if you all could consider the full range of punishment. He's asking for 5 years.
I'm gonna pause it just because. Let me take this little media thing down. What's the judge doing again? What is the judge doing again?
I'm going to ask you to consider the idea of 5 years.
No, sir,
And I
Judge.
said you consider it, think about it,
Judge.
and then get rid of it. This is not a 5-year case, ladies and gentlemen. By no means. This is not a 5-year case based on the evidence and everything we showed you here today. Punishment factors. What are you going to consider? What must you consider for a proper sentence? We look at the severity of the crime. How serious was the crime that we're looking at? Harm to the victim. What did she suffer? Remorse of the defendant and acceptance of responsibility. Is the defendant sorry for what he did? And deterrence. A sentence should deter the offender from committing future crimes and also deter others from committing similar crimes. Severity of the crime. He put the entire community at risk for his own selfish motive. Ladies and gentlemen, he shot a gun in public. Not only was he trying to shoot and kill Ms. Erica Torres, but he was also shooting with no disregard for where those bullets were going. You heard Mr. Pina take the stand. He was worried that bullets were going to fly into his house. You heard Officer Castillo. He was off duty, and he heard the gunshots. This was not a little isolated incident. This is something that affected our entire community. This was something that was out in the public. And you have someone playing cowboy like this, but shooting guns.
What did he say?
He left Erica with no choice but to drive away, injured and fighting for her life. What was she supposed to do? Sit there? You heard her scream, "Kayla, call 911, he shot me." Was she supposed to sit there? And if you look at that video, State's Exhibit 5, I know we've talked about this previously. He's walking, and he's walking with a purpose. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because he was going to finish the job. He was going to finish the job that day. Because for him, his objective was to kill Erica. Because don't believe for 1 second he was going to go up and open the door and say, "Are you okay? Are you all right? How can I help you, Erica?" No. He greeted her with gunshots raining down on her. That's how he greeted her. "Hello, how are you doing?" Bang, 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 bang. He wasn't going to go in to check on her. He was going to finish the job, what he intended to do. Sylvia Navarro, the accident victim, she came here to testify today. Because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what we show you on State's demonstrative. When Erica got shot, she got shot right here. She drove down 2 blocks, with no recollection, and she told you, "I was trying to get to the hospital. I was trying to make it to the hospital." So she turns right onto Clark Boulevard, drives down, no recollection, bleeding out, in and out of consciousness. The entire community is going about its day. The community doesn't stop because the crime occurred, putting women, children, other drivers at risk, people walking on the sidewalk, and she's driving this entire way until boom, right there, the crash that you see. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this was not something that was just between a couple. This was something that affected a lot of different people. She told you that her life was shaken by what Mr. Delgado did. She still has injuries for that. She had medical bills. She's still in pain. She has to get medication for this. That was her family vehicle. That's what she used to get to work. She had to get rides after that. You're talking about, that's just one person. There was still another person in that car, and there's still another person in the van that was smashed in the middle. So this isn't just about Erica as well. He affected so many lives. This is about the damage, all the damage that one man caused. all because he wanted to kill Erica Torres. She told you she's afraid of getting in cars because of what happened that day. Harm to the victim. What harm did the victim suffer? What harm did Erica Torres suffer? You heard Billy's mom tell him, this is not a slap in the face. No, it's not. Because she laid there in that bed with her stomach open for days, for weeks, for months, getting suction out of her stomach. She's essentially lost a year of her life in a hospital. And Mr. Vega, he was there and he's like, well, is sitting in jail bad? Sitting in jail is pretty bad, right? He asked her. What about sitting in a hospital, fighting for your life, not being able to eat food, not being able to eat solids, not being able to drink liquids for a year? That's pretty bad. And who's responsible for that? That man right there, Billy Delgado. All this damage to everyone that suffered, everyone in the community, and to Erica is because of him. She told you, I'm going to have lifelong injuries. She's had over 30 life-saving surgeries. She has assisted living. She has to live with her parents. She's filed for disability. She has to get rides from her mom. She can't drive. She is completely dependent. She has lost her ability to be a normal person because Mr. Delgado stole that from her. He took that away from her. She told you she has PTSD. She lives her life in fear every day. And you all saw the picture. In case she ever tries to forget, she'll always remember because there's still little pieces of the bullet sitting inside of her. Little fragments that they can't take out because they'll cause more nerve damage to the hand that she writes with, her dominant hand. And how dominant is her right hand? She can only lift 10 pounds.
Goes the judge.
She can't pick up her daughter to give her a hug. She told you she can't ride horses. And she obviously can't walk very far because of the malnutrition she could suffer and because she can't eat large portions. She in fact fought here to testify today. She told you, I have no energy. She testified, I'm always in pain. As she sits here, she's in pain. Her normal will never be normal. Because Billy Delgado took that away. And Billy Delgado made that happen. She will never live her life according to her terms. And we don't know how this has affected her life expectancy. Because anything can happen. But she can't take medications the same as you and me. She can't get medical care the same as you and me. He left her in a fragile state. And not only in a fragile state, he gave her a life sentence. She's going to have a life sentence. Whichever way you spin it, she will have a life sentence of living with the injuries, the pain, and the suffering for the rest of her life. We heard Joe Martinez, who treated her with all 3 of her hospitalizations. He saw her every day. He told you she only has 105 centimeters of her intestines. She's at high risk of malnutrition. She can't eat like a regular person, and it won't change in the future. She won't get better from this. She is permanently damaged. Like he said, she can't have surgery to fix this. This display, he even said it's not normal. The way it is today, that's the way it'll always be. And she can't have anything done to her because he told you she can't reproduce skin. She can't heal like you and I can. So God forbid that something happens to her. She cannot fix her abdomen. If they accidentally cut her bowel, it'll cause the same injury as before. And he told you he saw her suffering, that she couldn't eat or drink for that year, or for that time, while she was not able to eat. She testified, my hair was falling out, my teeth hurt. That's because she wasn't getting the proper nutrients. She wasn't getting what you and I get, what us normal people get from eating food. So then we look at remorse and acceptance of the responsibility. We consider remorse and acceptance of the responsibility. Till this moment, Mr. Billy Delgado is still hiding behind his excuses. Remember, was I blacked out or I did it for my daughter? But not once has he taken responsibility for the actions of that day. And even then, people are trying to justify his actions. But that's just not the case, ladies and gentlemen. Because that was a dangerous act, and no one deserves to suffer that pain. No one deserves to suffer the pain that Erica is living through, day in and day out. You saw the way he was with officers. You saw the way he was with Mark Vela, and you saw the way he testified. And if that's not enough, you saw the way he was with his mother on the phone, the way he spoke to her. He's a different person in front of people. He puts on a character. Ladies and gentlemen, I would hate to see what he's like behind closed doors. But you know who does know? Erica. Those are the glimpses of the real Billy Delgado. June 1st, 2024, that's the real Billy Delgado that we're dealing with. And you heard Mr. Delgado. You heard him tell you. And I asked him, did you regret this? And you heard what he said. And I asked him, did you regret it right away? And he said, I regret it as soon as I did it. Right after I did, I regret it. That's not the case. He doesn't regret it. And he still doesn't regret it. Remorse and acceptance of responsibility. Not very remorseful there. The only thing he could accept that day was trying to kill Erica. Because he, afterwards, he tried to stalk her. He tried to get to her, like stalking prey. Walking up to her. Erica's lucky to be alive. Why is she lucky? States Exhibit 6. Like I said, Erica is lucky to be alive, right? Oh, I apologize. They've taken the magazines into custody. She's lucky to be alive because she had 2 magazines in Mr. Delgado's pocket that were waiting for her. She had 2 magazines. If you see him reach into his pocket, you see him, he's there, he's digging into his pocket. He's there reaching to his pocket because that's what he was reaching for. That's what he was reaching for. A fully loaded magazine, ready to unload these on Erica. That's the real Billy Delgado. Not to mention the one he used in Charlie. Remorse and acceptance of the responsibility.
But you're not understanding that this was not a slap in the face. And this is what we tell our children as growing up. Do not do things that we cannot protect you from. That you're going to regret. There's only so much we can teach you. And
how about that?
Remorse and acceptance of responsibility. This was days after Billy Delgado had shot Erica. While she's laying in a hospital unconscious, fighting for her life. And he didn't regret a single thing. That's the real Billy Delgado. That phone call, that's the real Billy Delgado. Deterrence. How do you deter someone like Billy Delgado from committing future crimes and also deter other people, others from committing similar crimes? And Mr. Vega's right. He brought up a very good point. In Bordar, he asked you, who here believes in second chances? Who here believes in second chances? And everyone, a lot of people raise their hand, and understandably so. Ladies and gentlemen, this is chance number 1. This is chance number 2. Chance number 3. Chance number 4. Chance number 5. Chance number 6. Chance number 7. Chance number 8. Chance number 9. And chance number 10. And let's not forget, the biggest chance of all, when Mr. Delgado grabbed his firearm, placed his finger on the trigger, wrapped it around the trigger, pulled it out, and pointed it at Erica. That's the biggest chance he got. He had all these chances. He had all these chances. So this is not about second chances. There you go. So sentence. You heard Dr. Madero say Erica had less than a 50% chance of living after the medical treatment she received. You saw the defendant fire 10 shots at Erica with no mercy, no hesitation. We're going to ask you for 75 years. 75 years to serve. We're going to ask you for 5 years for each and every single casing he fired at her. 5 years for each shot he laid against her. And we're also going to ask you for 25 years in addition to that, for the pain and suffering that Erica will live through for the rest of her life, or whatever life expectancy she has. 75 years, ladies and gentlemen. We're not asking for life in this case. We are not asking for life in this case. What we're asking for is justice. And I'm going to leave you with one last final thought. Because every single time that you try straying away from 50, I want you to think of every single time you try thinking about going below 50, I want you to think of, because the date of June 1st, 2024, all Erica heard raining down on her was multiple gunshots. And now we're here today. It is time to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to ask you that when you go, you grab this punishment range form. And you will sign 75 years to serve. That is justice. Thank you.
Members of the jury, you'll have the charge of the court in the back to guide you. You will have the evidence, and we will await your unanimous verdict. Please carefully read the verdict form to make sure the final signature complies with your unanimous verdict. Would everyone please rise for the jury?
All right, for the jury.
Verdict, is that verdict unanimous?
Okay. Before we do this, let me tell y'all the stop clock. The clock stopped on Washington versus Ali, and Ali it stopped at 13:42:26, and they went home for the day. So we're still being jury watched tomorrow for the Ali trial. So right, I think that would be fair. I do, Hannah. I totally do. I think 75 years would be completely fair. You like that too, Cindy? Yeah, that's what I had come up. I come up that off the top of my head. So, all right, let's roll. Let's see what this verdict is.
Okay, please be seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I received indication you have a verdict. Is that verdict unanimous, sir?
Yes, sir.
Could you hand it to the bailiff for me? Thank you. Mr. Delgado, counsel, would you please rise for me?
Okay, here we go.
Cause number 2025 CRG 0000717D2, the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado. We assess his punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 50 years. No fine assessed.
Okay.
Do you wish to have him pulled?
Yes, sir.
Jury list for
I can be okay with that.
Okay, same thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call your last name. If you agree with the verdict, say yes. If you don't, for some reason, say no. Nieta?
I can agree with that. 50 years. I can handle that. Because if you think about it, in the state of Texas, yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to accept and receive your verdict. At this time, Mr. Delgado, would you and counsel please approach the bench for me? The jury having returned a verdict of 50 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, is there any legal reason why we should not proceed to sentencing at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Delgado, I will accept the verdict.
No,
assess a
Hannah.
50-year term in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
No, Hannah.
You will receive credit for any time you've been incarcerated pursuant to the law, and you have 30 days in which to file a motion for new trial and notice of appeal, which your lawyer can further advise you on. You'll have a seat over there. I believe we may have some victim impact statements. Any victim impact?
Yes, yes, sir. Or will we be going off the record?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the rule. You don't have to ask me. I follow the rules. Okay, my understanding, y'all can have a seat there if you don't mind. And I believe they come up to the bench for security purposes, and we do the victim impact from right here. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is an opportunity now that the sentence has been heard and imposed for individuals affected by the case to address the court or to address the jury or to address the defendant directly. And for security reasons, we ask them to come right up here, please. And as I indicated, you can face me, you can face the jury, or you can face the defendant. You may proceed.
No.
There are no words that can truly capture what I felt like that.
Let me tell you, Hannah, real quick. No, he would not. In the state of Texas, if you use a deadly weapon, in the commission of a felony defense, you have to serve at least half of your sentence or 30 years, whichever's less, before you become eligible for parole. So that means in 25 years, he'd be eligible for parole. But that doesn't mean he would get it. And at that point, he would be what? He's 34 plus 25 is 55-ish years, you know? So, Ronald Burgos Avila. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he'll have to do a minimum of 30 though, right? Because state of Texas, half their sentence or 30 years, whichever is less, before they become eligible for parole. So, yeah. So, okay, yeah, it's longer. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. It's in that one. Yeah, it was in Laredo as well. Yeah. Okay, let's her do her impact statements. And then I'm going to go take a break, and I might come back and do like a short hour stream because Shonda Vander Ark had a hearing Thursday or Friday, and I haven't watched it. So if I'm going to watch it, I might as well watch it on stream and let everybody join me. So I'll be doing that in a little bit, but I haven't set up the stream yet for it. So.
Day you shot me, my life changed forever.
The jury, or you can face the defendant. You may proceed.
There are no words that can truly capture what I felt like that day you shot me. My life changed forever. In that moment, I faced with unimaginable pain and fear and overwhelming questions of whether I would survive and see our daughters again. And yet, by the grace of God, I'm still here to see the day of light. I am a living miracle, and I thank Him every day for giving me the strength, not just to survive, but to keep moving forward for our children. What happened that day will never be forgotten. The physical scars are constant reminders of the violence I endured. The emotional wounds are deeper, and the trauma, the fear, and the loss sense of safety and the road of healing, it still continues. You didn't just try to take away, you changed everything. You changed our daughters' lives forever as well. They are victims too. They carry trauma of what you did. Even if they didn't see it with their own eyes, they feel the pain in ways you may never understand. You didn't just hurt me. You hurt them, you hurt my family and your family, the people who trusted you, who believed in you, and who carried a different kind of wound. And yet, despite everything, I forgive you, Billy. That forgiveness does not mean I forgot. It does not excuse what you did or erase the pain you caused. It means I chose peace over hate. I choose not to let that moment define who I am or to change me to anger. My faith has carried me through the darkest hours, and that's the faith that gave me the strength to forgive you, not for your sake, but for my own and for the sake of our daughters. Whatever you did forever altered my life, but it has not destroyed me. You took so much, but you did not take my will to live, my faith, or my dignity. I hope you one day truly understand the gravity of your actions. I hope you find the accountability and maybe one day redemption, but that is between you and God. I speak the words not from bitterness, but from the truth. And I share them because I believe that the truth deserves to be heard, just as I deserve to heal. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you. You can be seated.
There are no words that can fully capture the depths of pain and horror I felt the day you shot my daughter. As a mother, my worst nightmare became reality. I will never forget the moment I received the call. My heart stopped and my world shattered. That day changed all of our lives forever. You didn't just try to take her life. You took her sense of safety and you took the light from her eyes and you inflicted wounds that go far beyond her physical. As her mother, I saw her fight through pain no one should ever have to endure. I watched her struggle to heal, to stand back up and to keep going, not just for herself, but for her children, our grandchildren. And let me be clear, your daughters are victims too. They may not have witnessed what you did, but they live with the effects of it every day. The fear, the confusion, the emotional scars. You didn't just hurt their mother, you hurt them. The family who once welcomed you in, trusted you, believed you were someone who would love and protect, not destroy. The pain you caused is deep and the betrayal is devastating, and yet we still choose not to live in hate. Like my daughter, I hold on to faith and hope, onto the belief that love, courage, and truth are stronger than violence. Forgiveness is not easy. It is not forgetfulness. It does not erase the pain, but it is a choice that we make to reclaim our power, not to excuse what was done, but to refuse to change, to let it change us. I forgive because I refuse to let your actions define the rest of our lives. You need to understand what you did, not just in words, but in your soul. You didn't just break the law, you broke hearts. You shattered trust, and you left behind wounds that may never fully heal. I hope you carry the truth with you, and I hope in time you seek true accountability, not for our approval, but for your own soul. My daughter is still here by the grace of God, and she is rising every day. That's a miracle. That's strength. That's something you could never take from her. And as her mother, I will always be by her side, reminding her and your daughters that light still shines even after the darkness of night. We speak not from vengeance, but from truth, and the truth must be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck. You can have a seat. Members of the jury, your duties are now concluded. I want to thank each and every one of you for your efforts during this case and your consideration and your close attention to the evidence. I know nobody volunteered for this duty. Everybody was drafted, but I do hope it was educational for you and you learned a little something about your criminal justice system.
All right, we all learned a lot about criminal justice system with this one. And we learned that Mr. Vega is not a very good defense lawyer, in my opinion, and we're all entitled to opinions. So, with that, whew, y'all, what a day. What a day. So I'm going to take a break. If anybody's interested, I'll be back. Probably it is 7, so it's 6:45 my time. So probably at about 45 minutes, be 7:30 my time. I'm going to take a break. And I have not watched the Shonda Vander Ark hearing that they had. I believe it was Thursday or Friday last week. She's decided she wants a new trial for ineffective counsel and the fact that she was in a catatonic state during her trial and had to be taken out. Or she asked to leave and not attend the last couple of days of her trial. That was on her. But they have a hearing to make this decision or not if they're going to give her another trial. So if you're about and around later, I'll be on. Pop in, say hi. Figured if I'm going to watch it, I might as well watch it while I'm streaming and just hang out. So anyways, I am going to go and I will see y'all in a little while. Till then, peace. We're out. Y'all have a great rest of your evening if you don't come back. All right.